car, motorcycle, pickup, or RV, think of us. We make all sorts of vehicle loans. We can set you up with payments that fit your budget. So if you have getting some new wheels in mind, stop by and see us. We'll get you the right loan. Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. We're big on you.
We're small enough to know your name, but we're big on you.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
At Ringneck Energy, their mission is to produce renewable energy that adds value to grain and livestock production, enhances the income of their investor partners, and provide a safe, rewarding work environment. Located at 901 Redwood Avenue in Oneida, South Dakota. Call 605-945-6900 or check ringneckenergy.com. A proud supporter of local schools and wishes all students the best of luck in all their activities during the school year, creating economic opportunities in our community.
Ready to gain an edge in your career? Tide Machinery's Service Technician Apprenticeship Program is designed for anyone wishing to become a diesel mechanic working on Case IH equipment through full-time, on-the-job training. Enjoy hands-on work experience, learn from factory-trained service experts, and apply your knowledge from school directly to your work with this unique program opportunity. Become a titan in the industry and grow with a dealership that invests in you at Tide Machinery, Highmore, Miller, and Pierre, your local Case IH dealer. Visit titanmachinery.com/careers to learn more.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
Wow, Bill, you're walking so much better. What did you do?
Well, I got so tired of the pain and nearly fell. And one of my friends recommended physical therapy at Winter Physical Therapy. And you know what? My back also stopped hurting.
Huh. So how did you get started?
My doctor wrote me a referral, but that's not always needed. Turns out you always have a choice where you want to go.
So why did you choose Winter Physical Therapy?
I love to support our locally owned small businesses, and quite frankly, they give great personalized care.
Winter Physical Therapy. Exceptional care.
That moment when you realize your furnace is stone cold busted. We're talking a real put on every sweater you own, I can't feel my feet, penguin predicament. But fear not, there's an expert for that.
Let your local heating experts at Pites Service Experts keep you warm with $50 off any furnace repair.
Like it toasty? There's an expert for that.
Call Pites Service Experts at 866-EXPERTS. See website for license details.
For over 70 years, Pitt's Design Build has earned our reputation locally for serving communities across South Dakota. We provide design and building services for schools, hospitals, churches, commercial offices, multifamily housing, and so much more. Pitt's Design Build is conveniently located in Pierre, Mitchell, and Sioux Falls to serve you and your organization. We bring value to our clients by facilitating the design and/or construction process. Give us a call today and check us out at pittsdesignbuild.com for a free building consultation.
The Corner Station Convenience Store and the Crossing Pub are both conveniently located on Pleasant Drive in Pierre, South Dakota. At the Corner Station, grab your favorite hot and cold beverages and snacks while filling your vehicle up with Cenex brand gasoline. The Corner Station also features a super tunnel car wash to keep your vehicle sparkling clean. At the Crossing, grab a cold beverage and check out their selection of appetizers while watching the Stanley County Buffaloes and Pierre Governors live on their big screen televisions. Best of luck to all area students from the Corner Station and the Crossing.
DRG Media Group Sports is the official voice of the Pierre Governors.
Our hash mark over the middle and wide open at the 30-yard line. Carter shuffle by and touchdown. Here's Olsen, plenty of time, 3 seconds, gets to shoot, and it's good for 3.
From football, volleyball, and soccer to basketball, wrestling, and softball, follow the Pierre Governors on the official voice of the Govs, River 92.7, and also on the River 92.7 page of the DRG News smartphone app and drgnews.com.
Could you use some extra cash? Every Thursday night, we're hosting Chase the Pink Ace with a large jackpot and growing jackpot. I'm RF Bowie, the founder of Team Bowie Cares. 100% of the profits go to local cancer patients fighting their fight. You can get your tickets at any business inside Al's Oasis or online at chasethepinkace.org. Drawing is held every Thursday night at 8:08 p.m. at the Last Chance Saloon inside Al's Oasis. Thanks for caring.
Briggs Trucking and Construction in Fort Pierre provides quality freight transportation services, cargo hauling, excavation, and demolition services. They also specialize in dirt and gravel work for everything from commercial work to new construction. Briggs Trucking and Construction will haul everything from light poles to farm and agricultural supplies. The bigger the job or the bigger the load, the better, as that is where their expertise really shines. Contact Briggs Trucking and Construction at 605-280-2848 or email them at cbriggs25@pi.midco.net to visit about your next project.
Graham Tire of Pierre is your
Welcome
premier.
back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
Bank West, Beck Motors, Dakota Storm Roofing, Superior Concrete, Live Ticket, Overhead Door, New Edge Advisors, Avera Orthopedics, Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota, Kruger Contract, Century Business Products, and the Brittany Schepelbein Agency of American Family Insurance. Governor Sports is also sponsored in part by Dakota Mart, TMA, First Dakota National Bank, May Adam Law Office, Edward Jones, Avera St. Mary's Hospital, Wegner Auto, Ram Tire, and by Zander Auto Parts, American Bank and Trust, Kathy Sun and Shine Properties, Owyhee Federal Credit Union, the Ramkota Hotel and Conference Center, Tokyo Hibachi and Sushi, Bauman Lumber, Ferding Electric, and Black Hills Federal Credit Union. And coverage of high school sports on River 92.7 is also brought to you by these special in-game sponsors. Bank West, the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, Central Dakota Eye Care, Envirotech, the South Dakota Attorney General's Office Division of Consumer Protection, Brown's Financial Services, Comtech, Coca-Cola Bottling, Wealth Partners Ameriprise Financial, Hermanson Endodontics, Family Dental, Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union, Hermanson Endodontics, Cowboy Country Stores, and Gales Gas Service. And now, Pierre Governor Sports on the official home of the Governors, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
Well, thank you very much, and a very good Friday evening, everybody. Happy homecoming. It is homecoming night for the Pierre Governors as they come in to play their second home game of the season. And just like the first time around, it is cool, it is wet, and it's going to be muddy. Here is the Pierre Governors welcome in the Brookings Bobcats, their homecoming opposition here in homecoming 2025. The Governors coming in 2-1. That's the same record the Brookings Bobcats have, and two teams that are going to match up very evenly tonight. Going to be a fun one here, and we'll just see how wet and muddy everybody gets. Just like 3 weeks ago when the Governors opened the season against Aberdeen Central. Of course, we were playing until about midnight that night with the weather delay. We don't have any delays here, but we certainly want to pat the back of everybody who got the grounds ready to go in this one. Not to mention, the least of which was the field, but all of the extra grounds that Phil Troutner Stadium and Hollister Field sets on. The the gravel parking lots and things like that. There was some standing water yesterday and some things that could have contributed to this game being postponed, but that didn't happen thanks to some hard-working folks in that Pierre school system and the grounds crew as well. Brian Oakland with play-by-play coming up. We're glad to have you with us. It's William Wilson running our show in studio. We're live streaming as well, live video with the help of Live Ticket. Brian Medding gets the call on that tonight. Watch this game at drgnews.com and the River 92.7 page or on your DRG News smartphone app. You can watch it through the Pierre School website as well at gogovs.live. And joining me tonight here as we do normally on home games, John Wayne called to help us call the action in this one. And JW got a lot of excitement coming in, as it should be, for homecoming night. And the Pierre Governors, you know, they had that little stumble against Huron a couple of weeks ago. They got the ship righted, to say the least, against Watertown a week ago. And they face a Brookings team that had a stumble of their own right out of the blocks out at Sturgis. But some defensive, a blowout win actually at Mitchell, but a defensive-minded win and a late touchdown, if I'm not mistaken, in a win over Aberdeen Central. This is a team that has come a long way given where they were 2-3 years ago. And, they've got big things in mind for this season, too.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at there, obviously the one win, and we were kind of talking early in the year, we thought one of those teams that'd be up there right now would be Aberdeen Central, with possibly being 2-1 and coming out and have a good victory again. And, I take a look at Brookings right now, and they're just one of those sneaky teams. They don't do a lot of things flashy. They're predominantly a run-based, pretty heavily run-based team. And, and just looking at their lineman size, they're not really big up front at all. And so, I'm just kind of looking forward to what they do with their schemes tonight, and are they going to change things up against this Pierre defense that we're going to see, and what Coach Magic does with them, and or if they're going to stay true to their colors and just keep running that ball and just trying to control that ball or that time clock.
Yeah, and they'll put it in the air when they have to. They've got a big tight end. Yes. Same thing as what the Pierre Governors have, but we'll see what they have on the wideouts, because the Govs do have those, and the Govs found that out. They got their offense rolling, especially the way they wanted to, and throwing the football in that win. 41 points on the board in the win over Watertown last week. Again, you've got a wet night. I think you're going to have a wet ball all night long, but at least I do imagine the Governors will find a way to throw the football once again this evening.
Yeah, I mean, if they're throwing the ball against Aberdeen Central on that night, I got to imagine tonight's not going to be any different. A lot of I'd say not uncertainties, but a lot of excitement for us tonight, obviously with homecoming. But, we start looking back at, what kind of offense are we going to see tonight? Are we going to get to see what we seen last weekend with Watertown, and who we're going to see in the backfield tonight with Kiadushino, and then obviously Merrill have the opportunity to come back. I think we may see some bouncing around there with those guys. And, I'm really excited to see what this defense is going to do against Brookings. And, where I'm going to be focusing tonight is going to be on that interior lineman. And, again, how are we going to handle their big tight end, but how are we also going to stop that run and close down that A, B, and C gap and allow our linebackers to do what they need to do.
And who gets the best leverage when it gets good and muddy out there, because we will expect some of that once again. We'll talk more about this. We've got a Bank West pregame show coming up. It's Bank West for the best. And in that, we'll take a look around South Dakota Class 11 AA, give you the schedules and the updated power rankings. There's a surprise team at the top of the power rankings this week, you might think, but we'll take a look at that. We've got our coaches' conversations and keys to success and a whole lot more. In fact, I think we'll start with the coaches' conversations. We want to make sure we get those out of the way. Starting lineups and more, and it's all part of our Bank West pregame show that begins in 3 minutes. You're listening to Homecoming High School Football with the Pierre Governors on your official voice of the Governors, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
There when you need them the most. Bank West insurance agents Sam Kennecke and Angie Taylor are here to make your life easier.
As an independent agency, we're able to customize an insurance plan to fit your individual needs.
We work with dozens of companies to find you the best possible coverage and the best price.
For your insurance needs, contact Sam or Angie at Bank West Insurance in Pierre. Bank West, convenient, connected, committed. Insurance products are not deposits, not FDIC insured, not insured by any federal agency, not guaranteed by any bank, and may go down in value.
At American Family Insurance, we help protect what you've achieved so you can fearlessly go after your dreams. For auto, home, business, and life, contact us today. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance, Life Mutual, Standard of Ohio and Wisconsin Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin, 53783.
Call the Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, LLC, with offices in Pierre, Oneida, and Gettysburg.
Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre is here for you. They make it easy when looking for a new vehicle, getting all available vehicle information so you can spend less time researching and more time enjoying your purchase. Shop their extensive inventory from home at CapitalCityFordToyota.com or stop into Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota, 518 East Sioux Avenue in Pierre. Count on them for all your service needs with convenient scheduling and in-stock parts. Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre, 605-224-7378.
Do you dream of a custom home built within your budget and done on time? Kruger Contracting can make that dream a reality. They're a trusted home builder since 2003, and they're going to be upfront and open about cost and transparent about where your money is going when it comes to your new home. Their skilled crew will manage construction of your new home from start to finish. They're located in Pierre and can build your home in Pierre, Fort Pierre, or the surrounding area. Call 605-222-2523. Visit KrugerContracting.com or find Kruger Contracting on Facebook.
Century Business Products is a proud provider of the most reliable Kyocera copiers and printers to the Pierre School District, backed by 5-time nationally awarded Kyocera servicing team. Are you looking to control color cost? Looking to reduce printers? Are you looking for more efficient ways to scan documents? Or maybe you'd like to become more paperless? Look no further than your local Century Business Products. Call 800-529-1950 and see how they're powering business technology.
There's an app for everything, including high school sports, from the stations of DRG Media Group. Download the DRG News app from the App Store or Google Play. It takes only a moment, so you'll have it in time for this game. See live and archive video of all games. And when you select your favorite station during the live stream, the video will immediately pop up. See Central South Dakota High School Sports on your phone or mobile device with the DRG News app. Download it now from the App Store or Google Play.
Back at Phil Troutner Stadium at Hollister Field, welcome again to our Bank West pregame show. Pierre and Brookings renewing a rivalry that had Brookings winning in the at Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium a year ago, 13-0. That was a game in which both defenses pitched shutouts. Brookings scored 2 touchdowns on 2 pick sixes. Interceptions returned for touchdowns, and hopefully for the Governors, they'll get more out of their passing offense tonight. We'll be talking with head coach Steve Steele in just a moment about things like that. But for those who are on the road for high school sports or whatever the reason, our friends at the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety who celebrate being a part of a team remind us all to slow the drive and arrive alive. That's a reminder from the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety. Keys to success coming up in a conversation with Carter Gordon, the new head coach of the Brookings Bobcats, in a bit after we chat with Steve Steele. First Keys are brought to you by Central Dakota Eye Care in Pierre.
Did you know 16 million Americans suffer from dry eye? Hi, this is Dr. Nick Marso of Central Dakota Eye Care. Along with providing comprehensive eye exams evaluating vision and health of your eyes, we now offer IPL dry eye treatments. OptiLight IPL is a new innovative light therapy treatment for dry eye and is FDA approved. Also available at our clinic are dry eye products and supplements. Call us today, 224-6128 for more information and to schedule an appointment. Central Dakota Eye Care, 640 East Sioux Avenue in Pierre. Better vision for a great life.
All right, it's homecoming week, and we get our chance to talk keys to success with Steve Steele, the Governor, head coach, after a win over Watertown, 41-19. And, Coach, I mean, it's the first time we can talk about a full team win, I guess, where you come away with a victory and everybody in that game did their job and everybody passed every test with flying colors. You had to feel good about that.
Yeah, we did. I think offense finally got their footing and defense stayed strong. Another strong performance from them. Touchdown last play of the game, for all intents and purposes, 13 points given up. We feel good that that should be enough on a week-to-week basis. So hopefully we can keep that going.
Especially it's good to see the offense getting in that rhythm. And, you didn't see that downfield aerial attack necessarily in the game against Huron the week before. Now you've been able to see that and see it work, and how much can you continue to do that going forward now?
Yeah, I mean, the hope is that we can be more consistent with that. Huron was a little different, obviously week to week schematically, really keeping a lot of people back where we felt like we had some things that we could expose in Watertown, and the guys did a great job executing those. So hopefully when it's there, we're able to hit it, and when it's not there, we're just a little bit more consistent. But I think you saw the consistent side of the offense too. So Again, there's not a whole lot of gripes, always things that we can shore up and touch up, but hopefully we can continue those performances.
Yeah, because now you've got a team that's a little more defensive minded in Brookings, and that last year they shut you out in their place, and even got a couple of pick sixes or something like that, and they had a defensive win over Aberdeen this past week, similar game to what you've had. So a real tough opponent, but a good opponent for homecoming night.
Yeah, it should be, again, they're going to want to play a defensive game, so I think the important piece for us that we weren't able to do last year is, trying to pick that pace up a little bit. If you can get a lead on that team early, it just changes the way the whole rest of the game has to play out. The longer the game is 0-0 or 7-7 or anything like that, the more it kind of favors their mentality. So trying to force them to play our style will be important this week.
And I tell you this though, when you've had those low scoring games and 9-6 in Aberdeen, when it took a long time to put points on the board, and even 7-0 halftime against Huron, 7-7 early second quarter, I still feel, and whether it's going to pan out or not, I still feel like, hey, these are the Governors, and everything's going to go just fine in the end. Do you feel that way? And do the kids still have that mentality as the game progresses with the low score?
Yeah, they do. I think last year that we really got comfortable with that. I mean, there was a lot of those games last year. So I think the kids are comfortable. They have a lot of confidence in that. But, ultimately, again, we want to be aggressive. And, that's kind of our identity on that part, is just to go out and be the aggressor and try and win the game, as opposed to just kind of postpone and stuff. So hopefully getting back into that mentality a little bit more helps us get back to that, but I think the guys are confident winning any way that we can win.
All right. Brookings and the challenges they pose, still coming back with what they've got this year.
Yeah, they're still very strong defensively. They really force you to keep everything underneath. They don't like anyone getting behind them. They've got really good linebackers, especially their inside linebackers. They're really, really good. Fly downhill, they read well, they tackle well. It's a challenge, but if we can establish a run game, that'll be the most important part to offensive success today. Defensively, they really like to use number 10 a lot. He's a heck of an athlete. He's a big, tall, strong kid. They kind of have that heavy Wildcat package with him where they'll put him in and just let him run. They do more things. There's a little bit more variety, I think, in the Brookings offense this year than years past.
A little bit of a turnover in their coaching ranks too. New first-year head coach Carter Gordon, and maybe a bit of a youth movement for them at the same time. Is there anything different you're seeing this year than last year?
Yeah, I would say more so on the offensive side of the ball. There's definitely more variety there. In the past, it's been an offense that protects their defense. Again, they've had the defense to do that, obviously. But I think this year their offense is a little bit more out of their shell. They're throwing the ball a little bit more. They're being a little bit more balanced, I think, in that sense, where they used to just be pretty much all run and play action. They do have some passing formations and things now. So I think that's the side you'll notice the most difference. Defensively, they still do very similar things. Small tweaks here and there, but they still seem pretty similar on that side.
All right. Keys to success then?
Depending on how much water is left on the field, again, taking care of the ball will be important. But offensively, we've got to find ways to run the ball. And, defensively, we can't lose them in coverage. That's one of the things. Their quarterback's a pretty good scrambler. We can't afford to lose guys in coverage when he's running around.
All right, Coach. Happy homecoming. Good luck tonight.
Thanks.
Head coach Steve Steele of the Pierre Governors. Coach's comments and keys to success are brought to you by Central Dakota Eye Care. And we heard from Central Dakota Eye Care before I could get that one started. So we'll move right into the other side of the page. We're talking with Carter Gordon of the Brookings Bobcats. Keys to success, once again, from Central Dakota Eye Care in Pierre. And our keys to success will continue with Carter Gordon, the first-year head coach of the Brookings Bobcats, who's off to a 2-1 start. Coach, I know that first week in Sturgis, long road trip, maybe a little bump on the road, but you bounce back with wins over Mitchell, and then a defensive battle this past week over Aberdeen Central. And I think that game offered up all of the defense that true football fans love to see, but maybe no surprises either. It's just two teams that are built on defense, and And, I think after that little bump on the road, you guys are back on track and looking pretty good here as you get toward the halfway point of your season now.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. I would say, just from watching film of your guys' Pierre's game against Aberdeen, it was more or less the same as our game against Aberdeen. They have Aberdeen's got some big guys, and so we had to take extra precautions to make sure we took care of the first level. And I told the boys going into that game that it's going to be a bare knuckle fight, because really they were a really good 0-2 team, and it could have very much have turned the other way for them a couple of times in both their losses. So I'd say we're more focused than we were week one.
Yeah, those guys are 3 plays away, 1 in each game from being 3-0, aren't they?
They are. They're a well-coached football team, and they're big. So
yeah. All right. What's working for you now? I think as you obviously your defense is playing pretty well, but what do you got going offensively that you want to keep the trend rolling here as you take on the Pierre Governors?
I think when with playing Pierre, you always have to be always paying attention to the details, your technique, how you go about accomplishing a play. Changing could be the difference between a 2-yard loss and a 3-4 yard gain. So we've been kind of going back to square one, teaching the details, getting into the nitty gritty of how we play football a little bit.
You've got a team that was so young a couple of years ago, and of course we saw a great turnaround last year. And I know you probably lost to a good group of seniors, but the group that you have right now, I imagine they've got their eyes on the prize because they've taken their lumps, and now they're probably looking at this year as their time to shine, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't think their minds are set on anything other than the next game, which I appreciate about them. But, you can't coach experience. And so having a lot of these guys having 2 years of playing varsity experience, that's very, very helpful to us. So it's a good group of kids. We're kind of got bit by the injury bug over the last 3 games, but, they're still attacking every day, focusing at practice, and then just being ready for who we play the upcoming week. So,
all right, you did mention what it takes when you play a team like the Pierre Governors. Of course, they got their offense going against Watertown last week. What are the biggest challenges you'll face here in this next one coming up?
It's just always a well-coached team. It just seems like the mistakes are few and far between, and so we have to handle what we can control on our side of the ball. On defense, we know that there's going to be instances that we give up a big play. It's you just got to wash it off and get ready for the next one. Be bound and determined to make the play the next time. On offense, you got to take care of the ball and sustain drives, and that's kind of what we've been preaching to our boys this week.
All right. Any other keys to success in this game?
It sounds like it might be raining, so try to stay dry, I guess.
Great. Another rain game.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we'll come to your place and play it on turf in the stadium. How's that sound?
Hey, you know what? You come on down. Come on over. I'm not opposed to it.
All right. Well, I guess it's football weather, and it's that time of the year. Coach, appreciate your time. Best of luck to you, okay?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's Carter Gordon, head coach of the Brookings Bobcats, and Carter is the son of Alan Gordon and Karen Koistinen Gordon, who were both 80s graduates of Pierre Riggs High School. Of course, that makes him the grandson of a former head football coach from Pierre, Ken Koistinen, who took the Governors to the Dakota Dome back in 1988, the first time they ever went. We just missed getting it on the microphone, the big mortar boom here as we get things going to start the events of the evening. It's homecoming night. Once again, thanks to our coaches with their comments and keys to success that are brought to you by Central Dakota Eye Care in Pierre. Couple minutes left on the pregame countdown. Let's give you the starting lineups in this one. Starters come to us courtesy of Envirotech in Pierre. Let's meet the Brookings Bobcats first off. At quarterback is a 180-pound senior, Gavin Anderson. Behind him, the fullback, Jay Harris, a 200-plus pound senior. Gus Armenta is the featured tailback. He is a 185-pound senior. Wideouts are junior Kingston Schneider and a sophomore, Jude Mendering. On the line, Dylan Reynolds is the center. He is a senior, 265. Left guard is Brady Caraway, a senior. Right guard, Jackson Neff, a smaller sophomore. The tackles are senior Michael Nelson and senior Carson Lohr. And then the one to watch on the tight end spot is Bergen Tetzloff. He's a senior at 235 pounds. On the flip side, the defensive side of things for Brookings, Zach Hageman lines up at the nose with just 205 pounds on him. Blake Canigator, a 200-pound senior on the defensive end, and Steven Anowski, a 205-pound senior, a small defensive front for the Brookings Bobcats. Phoenix Sather, a senior. Cash Sather, a senior, come in at linebacking spots to join Bergen Tetzloff and Jay Harris. The defensive backfield features seniors Jaden Hale and Jones Huntemer. Kingston Schneider doubles as a strong safety, while Ashton Baker, a senior, comes in at free safety. For the Brookings Bobcats, who are 2-1 on the season, new head coach is Carter Gordon. The Pierre Governors are also 2-1 on the season. Their Envirotech starting lineups look like this. Caleb Lounsbury, the senior quarterback who threw for almost 300 yards and 3 scores a week ago, will be in that quarterback spot once again. Kia Duchino gets the start, the senior 175-pound halfback, but we will see for the first time this season senior Carter Merrill running the football as well, and maybe we'll see Porter Hunsley running the football a time or two tonight, as well as he did last week, and scoring a couple of touchdowns. Wideouts are Carter Shufflebein, the junior, who's having a player of the year kind of a season in that regard, in that particular position. Lincoln Dill just had a long touchdown pass and catch last week. He's the senior, and Jaron Deal with a touchdown pass and reception as well, the sophomore. In fact, all 3 of those wide receivers had a touchdown catch a week ago. Cooper Terwilliger, the big tight end for the Governors, the 240-pound junior. The offensive line features Bryson Wallman, the junior, in the middle at the center spot, Max Schmitz and Max Bogenhagen at the guards, Colton Cass and Tucker Ott, a pair of seniors, in the tackle spots for the Governors on offense. Defensively, Lathan Rounds, a 240-pound sophomore, comes in on the nose, joined by Bogenhagen and Schmitz in the defensive tackle spots. The linebacking core on the outside is Hudson Schaefer and Lincoln Schoenhard, the seniors. Sam Larson, the junior, and Will Eilers, a sophomore, are in the middle of the linebacking bunch. Logan Whitty, the junior, at cornerback. Aiden Beam, who's having a good season, the senior cornerback as well. Porter Hunsley, the sophomore, strong safety. Sutton Sonnenschein, the junior, at free safety. That's your starting defense as well for the Pierre Governors, and their head coach Steve Steele, who is assisted by Dan Machachok, Scott Nye, Jeff Hagee, Adam Spohr, Josh Schleisner, Jeff Schleckaway, and Duncan Trow. Those are our starting lineups, brought to you by Envirotech in Pierre. We'll hear from Envirotech, and we'll give you the other starting lineup as well. When we come back, it'll be the naming of our game officials and the law on the field. Coming up with more Pierre Governor football.
Envirotech makes life a little bit simpler. No matter what the circumstances, no matter what is handed to you, Envirotech has you covered. One call is all it takes to have easy setup, easy pickup, and easy payment. Call Envirotech at 224-4804 or use their website to pay your bill online at envirotechwaste.com. Use the mobile app Waste Connect. Check their website or receive a robocall for collection schedule due to weather or holidays. Envirotech has you covered.
Envirotech with the starting lineups. Let's give you the other starting lineup that we have for you this evening. It's the guys in stripes, and we call them the law on the field in this case, as they're sponsored by the South Dakota Attorney General's Office and their Division of Consumer Protection. In the white hat, the referee tonight will be William Sheaf, and he is joined by Kyle Brunsma, Tyler Curry, Joey Mitchell, and Trey Krieger. That is our officiating core. Tonight, we thank all of our officials for doing what is very oftentimes a thankless job in officiating evaluating high school sports. Bill Schiefen, Kyle Brunsma, Tyler Curry, Joey Mitchell, Trey Krieger. Thanks, guys, for being our law on the field tonight. Sponsored by the South Dakota Attorney General's Office and their Division of Consumer Protection. 3-minute break, and we'll inch closer to the opening kick on homecoming night. Pierre Governors, Brookings Bobcats coming your way on River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
Inheritance, romance, and investment scams continue to plague South Dakotans with high dollar amount losses. They prey on vulnerable adults and swindle consumers out of their funds. Scammers befriend the victim, making it difficult for them to see the reality of what's happening. If you have a loved one susceptible to this type of scam, sit down and talk with them about these issues before it happens to them. If you or a loved one have been scammed in this manner, please reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986. Do you love watching high school sports but find yourself wanting to be more involved? LiveTicket.tv has the solution for you. They're looking for production managers to assist for this school year. Duties include the management of equipment as well as basic technological understanding. But don't stress, paid training will be provided. Part-time wages starting at $20 per hour. Call 833-605-LIVE, extension 2. That's 833-605-5483, extension 2. And punch your ticket to joining one of the fastest growing companies in South Dakota.
Chances are you're overlooking a big energy thief in your home or commercial building. The garage doors. But Overhead Door Company of Pierre can help stop that energy waste with a full range of insulated, weather-tight garage doors. Their residential garage doors give you insulated performance at an uninsulated price. And their Thermocore insulated steel doors give commercial buildings the energy efficiency they demand today. Find out more. Call Overhead Door Company of Pierre at 1-800-649-9905 and put a stop to the garage door energy thief.
I'm Scott Nye. As a coach for the Pierre Governors, I know a winning game plan is crucial. When it comes to your finances, you deserve one too. At New Edge Advisors, our name is new, but our commitment to you isn't. We're the same trusted team you've known, and we've expanded our playbook of resources to help you plan for retirement, manage investments, and protect your future. Let's build the strategy that gets your financial future into the end zone.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors LLC is a separate entity from LPL Financial.
At Avera Orthopedics, we're transforming pain into possibility every day. Whether you're chasing a personal best or simply want to enjoy life to the fullest, our specialized care is designed to help you feel better and stronger. We're here for you. No referral needed. Trust Avera Orthopedics to unlock a world of endless possibilities. Visit avera.org/orthopedics and start your journey from pain to possibility today.
From the early days of South Dakota statehood through today's digital revolution, BankWest has remained committed to helping customers and communities succeed. BankWest Associates uphold this commitment by developing innovative products, tailoring financial solutions to customer needs, and actively supporting community causes. For a bank committed to helping you and your community prosper, choose BankWest. BankWest, convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Phil Troutner Stadium at Hollister Field on homecoming night for the Pierre Governors. Yeah, and just finishing up our national anthem being played by the Emerald Regiment Pep Band, the marching band who may, I imagine, get their opportunity to perform during halftime tonight. Our BankWest pregame show continues, and here's a quick look at what is going on around South Dakota tonight. I mentioned earlier a bit of a surprise team up top of the standings right now. Power rankings-wise, you got the 2-1 Huron Tigers, who are number 1 right now, ahead of unbeaten Sturgis and Yankton, who are both 3-0. The power averages for Huron is about 44 1/3 compared to 44 flat for both Sturgis and Yankton. Brookings is in a tie for 4th right now at 2-1 with Spearfish and T Area 41 1/3 power points. Pierre is next in line at 39 1/3, even though they've got a 2-1 record as well, followed by Watertown at 0-3, Mitchell 1-2, Douglas and Aberdeen Aberdeen Central 0-3, bringing up the rear of the power rankings. Of course, 6 games in the regular season to go and a lot to be sorted out so far. The schedule of events tonight has Brookings here in Pierre to take on the Governors. We've got some good games otherwise going on in South Dakota. Spearfish is hosting Aberdeen today. I saw Aberdeen's bus, and the kids took a lunch break here in the capital city today, but they made their way out to the Queen City to take on the Spartans tonight. Sturgis is hosting Huron. That's 2-1 versus 3-0. You've got Watertown at Mitchell. Douglas hosting T-Area tonight. And then tomorrow, Yankton is the 11 AA team playing a AAA team this week, and they will go to Harrisburg to battle the Tigers. The AAA schedule tonight is all otherwise this evening. Sioux Falls Jefferson and Sioux Falls Lincoln, who are off to a pretty high-scoring start. It was like 28-24 Lincoln before halftime in that one. That's going on at Howard Wood Field. Meanwhile, Sioux Falls Washington is out at Rapid City Stevens. Sioux Falls Roosevelt goes to Brandon Valley tonight, and O'Gorman will host Rapid City Central. We mentioned Yankton at Harrisburg tomorrow. We've got other games on DRG Media Group stations. At Stanley County at Gregory on KGFX. Chamberlain hosting Rapid City Christian on KPLO. Mobridge Pollock at Webster tonight on Star 99, and Sully Buttes is at Gettysburg on KMLO and DRGnews.com. Comtech sponsors our opening kick. Let's hear from them, and we kick it off for homecoming night next. This is Pierre Governor Homecoming Football.
Comtech has your technology solutions. Check out their showroom located right off the truck route on Irwin Street. Come in and see what you've been missing. A large selection of TVs, sound systems, and smart speakers, PCs, desktops, and tablets, home and business security and telecommunication systems. Comtech is your all-in-one solution for any technology needs. Wishing all athletes the best of luck in today's competition. Comtech. Come see what you've been missing.
Comtech with the opening kick. Comtech on the lower truck bypass in Pierre. Fans, we want you to listen for our Rounds Financial Services right on the money highlight plays tonight. As good plays are made, we will try to highlight them ourselves. Governors hope to make a lot of them. Right on the money highlight play sponsored by Rounds Financial Services in Pierre, where your money works for you. Mosaic Wealth member SIPC. The Brookings Bobcats will kick off from left to right. The Governors return right to left, and we'll talk about what both teams are wearing momentarily. But boom, the kick is in the air. Left to right, taken by Jaron Deal at his 5-yard line near side. Back to the near hash mark. Up the middle. Squirts through to the 25. Brought down at the 27. And the Governors will have average field position to start. And right away, John called. We see that Jaron Deal didn't really want to make too many quick movements because the field is wet and she's going to be muddy again tonight.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of that tonight. I think even on the run game, it's just going to be straight downhill and just getting your gaps and just trying to get any positive yards you can get out of it. Just maintaining that ball and make sure you keep it in your possession.
Ball control, key to success, no doubt about it. The Governors are going to start in the pistol, and you've got Caleb Lounsbury in that formation with Kea Duchino behind him. They'll go quick hitter out far side, and that's Carter Schuffelbein's domain generally, but Brookings is waiting on that. And as Schuffelbein tries to cut inside the far hash mark, there's nowhere to go. Brookings covers it up, and the Governors get nothing out of it.
Yeah, Brookings did a good job there just getting on the outside and, again, not giving him any cutbacks. Not that he's going to take a lot anyway tonight, but just not giving him any opening whatsoever.
Brookings in white on white on the road tonight. We'll see how muddy some of their players will get this evening. Red numbers, red helmets. Here come the Governors in green pants and this is Carter Merrill. His first carry of the season will get him across the 30-yard line as he comes near side. Turn the corner, but then is brought down after a 5-yard gain to the 32-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 5, and good to have Carter Merrill back in action for the Governors. Govs are wearing special jerseys tonight to honor their fallen teammate Aiden Van Balen, who passed away back in June due to an automobile accident. Aiden used to wear Hawaiian shorts, and the jerseys the Pierre have, they're darker jerseys, but they've got a little bit of that Hawaiian floral pattern, and That is how they are honoring number 95, Aiden Van Balen. We've got a bit of a wardrobe malfunction, as it turns out. So, again, these darker jerseys for the Governors. Thankfully, they've got big numbers. We love big numbers from up here. We can see them a heck of a lot better. The Govs are in green pants and green helmets. And as they bring Will Eilers in to line up on the left end, 3rd and 5 from the pistol, over the middle, and
there we go. There we
pass
go.
caught at the 50, 40, 30. This is shuffled by and up the middle of the field. The little slant pattern is good to go the distance, and 68 yards to start the fireworks on homecoming night. The Governors lead 6-0, a minute and a half into this contest.
Yeah, great start by the Governors there. I was kind of curious on the change of the call there when we had to bring off Terwilliger in that case, and obviously just able to find those quick little hitters, and I think that's going to be a strong game plan for Coach Steele tonight. And the Governors just quick, get the ball in the hands of so many different threats that we have on our offense right now.
It just sounds, slants are generally simple routes, but they're so timing specific, and the pass was delivered perfectly by Lounsbury. Here's Carter Templeton to try a PAT. The snap was a little bit high. It took Lounsbury an extra split second to put it down, and this kick is blocked. So Pierre with some fireworks, but they'll settle for 6. We're off and running. 10:34 to go. First quarter, 6-0. The Governors strike first. We'll take a 30-second timeout, and we're back for a Governor kick as you listen to Pierre Governor Football on River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
Shop specializing in tires to fit vehicles, from ATVs to large farm equipment and everything in between. At your tire store next door, you can find a plethora of brand name tires that range from 4 to 10 ply and much more. Our highly skilled technicians can handle brakes, heating, and air conditioning. Call us today at 224-8643 or visit us at GrahamTire.com. Graham Tire is a proud sponsor of Pierre and surrounding communities' local activities.
Buying or back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union press box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Back at Phil Troutner Stadium in Hollister Field, a great start for the Pierre Governors, and just like that, they provide us with a right-on-the-money highlight play sponsored by Rounds Financial Services in Pierre. 68-yard touchdown on a slant pattern from Caleb Lounsbury to Carter Shufflebine, and Shufflebine caught it at about the 45-yard line, but once he got to the 50, there was nobody in front of him, and we've already seen the speed that he has displayed this season. He's got a 96-yard touchdown this season as well. High end-over-end kick from Carter Templeton for the Governors, and Brookings is going to field it at the 27-yard line, but there's nowhere to go, and the return man ultimately has to fall on it at the 30-yard line as Otto Eidsness makes that play, and Brookings has it first and 10 at their own 30.
And I'm sure that wasn't designed, but in that case, again, you're hitting a high ball like that to a guy that generally doesn't have a lot of probably chance to touch the ball in the first place. And again, that's something that could go our way here in the future, especially with the ball that's a little bit slippery.
Coach Sean Lewis and I talked about this last week at one point. You see it in the NFL where you have to land it in a landing zone now, and that does cause some problems sometimes. You would expect in a return game. Inside handoff to start Brookings on offense here, and Gus Armenta is their featured guy. As he crosses the 30, he'll make his way to the 33. A little 3-yard pickup to start things off as Brookings beginning conservatively, but they are already in response mode after the Governors had a quick strike and a 68-yarder to start the scoring on their opening possession. 2 minutes into this one, 6-0 as mentioned. Brookings will send 2 wide to the left and 1 to the right, and we've got whistles already. And another wardrobe malfunction here with the Pierre Governors on defense this time.
Yeah, it looks like they're checking the knee pads pretty hard on our players, and that's the same thing with Terwilliger got brought off on and showing hard there. I just seen about 9 other guys on our team making sure they're pulling those knee pads down.
Number 31 coming in. I don't have a 31 on the Pierre roster. Here comes Armenta again, however. And he'll get stacked up as he comes across right side. Just a gain of 1. Will Eilers in on the stop. Among others, you got Lathan Rounds, one of the last off the pile. It'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Bobcats.
Yeah, and everything goes all right tonight. We should be calling those linebackers names quite a bit for tackles. And again, it's not that the linemen aren't doing their jobs. They're doing their jobs. And one of their jobs tonight is going to be just closing off the gap and really pinching down that A and B and not allowing that running back to get through there and just allowing our linebackers to fill.
Brookings going to spread the formation. You got 4 wide, 2 to either side. Ball's on the near hash mark as they head left to right. Gavin Anderson takes the snap. 4 out in the pattern and a nice little up and out here to the near side. Sidestepping the mud puddles on the Governor's sideline is Bergen Tetzloff. And this is the guy that Gavin Anderson is going to look to all night long. Pierre has Cooper Terwilliger. Brookings has a guy who's been doing it even longer in Bergen Tetzloff. He's a good one.
Yeah, good little play there by Brookings. Just caught us in a zone matchup there. And, to me, that's kind of one of those open areas that if you've got enough time and you can allow your guy to get to that little 10-yard and out, usually that's something that's going to be opened up. But, again, another timing pattern, a lot of times hard to throw, especially on our field with this crown.
That's 11 yards on the pickup and a first down gained by the Bobcats. Their first possession. Armenta going to go sweep to the left side. He turns the corner, but right there, one of the Governor linebackers, who John Calda said should have a pretty good night tonight. In fact, this is Logan Whitty coming up from the defensive backfield. Whitty with a sure tackle, and you saw the hesitation of Armenta, just a little bit tentative in his footing himself as he turned that corner. He has got 2 yards on the pickup. It'll be second down and 8. And Armenta has checked out. Brookings has a new runner in there, and that is Owen Eidsness, who fielded the kickoff. High formation for the Bobcats. They'll go to Eidsness. He's a load as well. He goes about 200 pounds, but he doesn't get much here at all. The Governor defense is really filling the gaps, and again, Brookings doesn't have much room to run. JW, you go back 3 weeks in that wet field with Aberdeen Central, and, that was a bigger team, but still the Governors were getting leverage all night long, and they were winning that battle for about 3 quarters until Aberdeen Central had some more success in the fourth quarter. But I think the Governors, they've got the size advantage in this, the tail of the tape along the line of scrimmage. And so far, they're winning that battle. 3rd and 8. Anderson back to throw, has to tuck and run. He'll head out left side, has the 50, 45, and that's good enough for a first down as he will scamper out of bounds. Good job scrambling, and Coach Steve Steele of the Pierre Governors did mention that Brookings QB does scramble very well. Made a good decision here to pick up enough yards to move the chains for a second time on their opening possession. They make it to the Pierre 44-yard line, and that'll be a gain of 9.
Yeah, I think, a major emphasis tonight for us is going to get him scrambling to his left side. Obviously, right-handed quarterback, a little easier to throw. There, we just didn't have those guys on that right side of our defense to help, again, with his little bit of a scrambling ability.
Offset eye this time. Armenta back in there, and he hits the hole hard, but then the Governors plug it up, and this is good for 3 or so. And there's Sam Larson, the last one being helped up. Spotted to the 42, in fact, just a 2-yard gain. So far, Gus Armenta, unofficially just 8 carries and a 2-yard average, or 8 yards on 4 carries, a 2-yard average. Not much room to run as of yet, but Brookings has moved the chains, and they've got that clock running under 7 minutes to go. First quarter, 6-0 Governors. 2 receivers to the near side. Armenta takes the inside handoff. Now he's got room to move. 40 to the 35, and he'll be brought down close to a first down there. In fact, the ball will be spotted to the 33. I thought he was ahead of that line to gain, and he is. That's another Brookings first down. So they're doing it mostly with the running game, and Armenta breaks free for 9 yards this time. 3 movements of the chains now, and already, JW, the Governor defense is going to start spending a little extra time on the field here this evening. Something to look out for or be aware of. For the first time, this is Anderson under center. This is Eidsness coming out near side. He makes the 30. Governors get to him. One of the Governor tacklers, I could see trying to strip the football as they stood him up a bit. I think that was Larson who makes the stop again, and Owen Eidsness makes his way inside the 30 to the 27. So 6 more on first down here.
Yeah, and going back to that, I mean, Brookings being relatively predictable, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in the future. And I know our governors, there's certain keys and stuff that we're looking at right now that, again, their tendencies of where they're going to be running this ball. And right now, we know where the ball's going. It's a simple fact of, can we actually cut those holes, block those holes, and get our backers to fill?
2 tight end set. There is 1 token receiver out wide left, but they stay on the ground once again. This time, Armenta has it inside the 25 to the 23. Making sure that is Armenta. No, that's number 6 once again, and that's Eidsness. So good 1-2 punch here. This one will they'll say first down. No measurement needed. 6 on the first one, 4 on the next one. And Eidsness and company approaching the red zone. Already 4 first downs picked up on a drive that started at the Brookings 30-yard line. And it started over 5 minutes of game time ago. They'll stay in the I formation. Bunching things up. Anderson under center again. Try to sweep it out to the left side. A flag comes in from behind the play here, but you saw Eidsness, as he tried to make the cut, his left foot slips. And we'll check the call on this one. The result of the play for now is a loss of 2. Back to just inside the 25-yard line. And it looks like Brookings is going to get marked back. So Brookings will get sent in the wrong direction for the first time. A 10-yard mark-off, holding on the line of scrimmage. That'll make it 1st and 20, back to the 33-yard line. Penalties can be such killers when you have when you're really in a good rhythm and moving the football, and now all of a sudden you've got double yardage to try to pick up. Anderson's back in the gun. Armenta's there in the backfield. He'll take the inside handoff. He has the 30. He's got the 25. Now, when I talk about the tail of the tape on the line of scrimmage, I think when Brookings is out there defensively, they've got a smaller D-line, but the offensive line does still have some beef up the middle.
Yeah, and you're just seeing that right now. I mean, it's just straight kind of one-on-one blocking, and they're getting our guys down, good 3-4 yards. And, again, you can put anybody back there, and they're going to get you your 3 or 4 yards right now, especially if you're a little bit patient. Just find a little gap, and eventually you can break something out of that.
8 yards for Armenta on 1st down and 20. Now 2nd and 12, and they'll go to Gus again. Looking to find his hole, but he is stood up immediately. And then brought down. There's Porter Hunsley out in the area. And again, Sam Larson, who's been all over the place on this opening defensive possession for the Governors. 2 for Armenta, back to the original line of scrimmage on this sequence. It's the 23-yard line, but it'll be 3rd down and 10. Brookings chewing a lot of time here in this first quarter, now under 3:45 and counting.
And you got to imagine 4-down territory here, so are they going to look at just going for 4 or 5 yards? Are they going to try something and get a little bit more of a deep ball here?
Kingston Schneider flanked wide to the right. They'll roll his way, but looking for Tetzloff, and this pass is undercut and picked off. The Governors have it, and it's Porter Hunsley with the position in front of Tetzloff. He picks it off inside the 10-yard line. Tetzloff ultimately runs him out of bounds on the near side, but not until he crosses the 15 and hits the 17-yard line. And Porter Hunsley seemed to see that one coming all the way. Big play defensively for the Governors. A right on the money highlight play sponsored by Rounds Financial Services. A change of possession, and the Governors will try to add to a 6-0 lead.
Yeah, great job there by Hunsley getting that IT. But I tell you what, the one guy that really set that up was Terwilliger coming off the end package there and just putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, forcing an air and throw.
Govs will start on the ground, but there is a penalty flag that has been thrown. And we'll see what happens here. Most likely maybe a hold. We try to spring the ball carrier, Carter Merrill. That is the case. Offensive line guilty this time, so Brookings hurt their chances with a holding penalty after moving the chains 4 times in their opening possession. They'd be forced to throw on 3rd and 10, but now holding here, and they'll be marked half the distance to the goal. Now the line of scrimmage was the 17. They put them back a full 10 yards here. I guess I question that. Generally, that should be half the distance, which would have been about 8 or 9 yards instead of the full 10. As it is, it's 1st and 20. Here is Merrill looking for space, and Carter Merrill. Kea Duchesneau's done a great job running the football these first 3 games, but Merrill now back, and you can see he's just a little more of a shiftier runner. We saw it at the second half of last season. Very difficult to bring down. He'll score 6 yards on this carry. Then it'll be 2nd down and 14. Governors moving right to left, and they are moving into the breeze, in fact. Of course, they have already scored a long touchdown on a slant pass, catch, and run. Here's Lounsbury again, and he'll find his man. Shufflebein shakes a tackle to the middle of the field to the 25, and he'll pick up almost, if not just enough yardage for a Governor 1st down. That was a nice move in traffic for Shufflebein, and the chains are moving as the Governors pick up 15 to the 28.
Yeah, another great play call there by Coach Steele. And tell you what, as a defense coordinator, it'd be so hard right now just calling against our offense. One, just ability to make those calls from the sidelines, being able to actually look at what defense is being played right now, and you really got to be crafty with moving your guys around and decoying, where they're going to be at when that ball snapped.
2 tight ends set. Here's Merrill on the pitch. The toss out to the right side. Looks like he'll get to the 30. And again, if you were watching this at drgnews.com or whatever medium you can see this game, Lounsbury after the pitch, he kind of rolled out to the near side, but he himself slipped, and there was mud that was flying up in that spot at the 25-yard line. This is going to be fun. Merrill for 2, 2nd down and 8. Governors on the move after a Porter Hunsley interception. Merrill goes out far side, got the 40 to the 45 to the 50. 2 Brookings Bobcat defenders team up to get him down, but if they don't do that, Merrill is gone. Jaden Hale, one of the cornerbacks, will get the stop here, but Merrill with his first big play, and he's got a 20-yarder. It puts the Governors out to midfield.
And
Good
again,
to see such a burst of speed coming out of that backfield.
And just give credit to the line again, just sealing that edge and just give him something to work downhill and not having to make any cuts too. So just all positives there.
Merrill again, 5 yards before contact, and then he is brought down after a pickup of 6. He's inside Brookings territory now to the 44. They'll give him the 43. So we'll give him 7, and Carter Merrill's first 5 carries have been productive. Unofficially 40 yards in that 8-yard average so far, 2nd down and 3. And we're in the final minutes of quarter number 1. The Governors scored on the 3rd play of the game from 68 yards out. They lead 6-0. Brookings moved the ball all the way down to the field on a 60-plus yard drive. But an interception by Porter Hunsley gave the Governors the ball back. And now as the pitch goes to Merrill, there's a penalty flag thrown in the backfield. And the Governors probably will be marked off again. I wonder if this is an illegal shift. Yep. Our shift has 2 guys moving at the same time. So the Governors are marked 5 yards back here, and that'll put them to the 48-yard line. 2nd penalty on this possession. That'll be 2nd down and 8. Not sure who was moving forward. It may have been Merrill in the backfield.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that one out.
2nd down and 8. 48-yard line of the Bobcats. This may be the final play of the first quarter. They'll pitch it again to Merrill. Goes short side, far side, 1st down and more, up the sideline, and again, just pushed out of bounds to save a touchdown Well, part of the Brookings Bobcats is Carter Merrill will reach the 35-yard line and pick up 13 more. And that will give the Governors at least one more play here in this first quarter. Leading 6-0 so far. The Governors are doing it in a lot of different ways. They've done it through the air, of course, on a big play, and now churning the yards on the ground. They'll keep it simple. Merrill again starts right, cuts back up the alley outside the far hash mark, and now he'll be spun toward the 30-yard line. Solid gain on first down in the final play of the first quarter of play. A good one at that. The Governors score 6. The defense spent a lot of time on the field, but they get an interception, and now they're driving again here at the Brookings 30, where it'll be 2nd and 5 when we come back in the second quarter of play. On the Gales Gas Service scoreboard at the end of one, 6-0 Governors on homecoming night. Scoreboard brought to you by Gales Gas Service in Pierre. We're back in 1 minute with more Pierre Governor football.
Home is a big decision. You need an expert who knows the market and gets results. Scott Darnall at Lee Real Estate in Pierre brings experience, local knowledge, and a no-nonsense approach to help you navigate every step. Whether you're looking for the perfect home or the best offer, Scott is committed to making the process smooth and stress-free. Ready to make your next move? Call Scott Darnall at 605-220-2676. Lee Real Estate, Meredith Lee, broker, owner.
Lucky for us, life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose, a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Welcome back. Phil Troutner Stadium and Hollister Field, homecoming 2025. Brian Oakland, John Calda on the call, William Wilson in studio. Brian Menning is here with us on camera as well with live tickets and drgnews.com. First play of the second quarter from the 30-yard line. It's a 2nd and 5 push pass from Caleb Lounsbury to Carter Shufflebein on the sweep. Shufflebein will turn the corner, and he will pick up the first down. He gets the 5 yards he needs to the Bobcat 25. 4 for 4 for Caleb Lounsbury through the air. Of course, this one the most high percentage pass that he's completed. But all 4 have been caught by Carter Shufflebein, who caught 11 passes in Huron a couple of weeks ago, had 6 at Watertown, including a 35-yard touchdown last week. Govs on the move to the Brookings 25-yard line. This is Kea Ducheneau, who will get the carry here after running very well last week to the tune of 120-plus yards. Ducheneau inside the 20-yard line, downed at the 19, and he picks up 6 on his first carry of the night.
Yeah, and we're just watching Brookings right now, sitting back basically in a 3-man front, and I'm kind of surprised they haven't maybe switched even a 4 or 5 because Coach Shield just kind of picking them apart right now with those, with Merrill on the outside, and we're finding those openings and getting to their backers in that second level, and we're basically shutting them off too and just getting 2, 3, 4, 5 yards at a will.
First minute gone by, second quarter. Here's a quick fire out to Shufflebein. 20, makes his move. 15, 10, 5, and a touchdown. Carter Shufflebein, although there's a flag that is thrown, 2 of them, in fact, inside the 10-yard line. That came in a little bit late, but was there an extra hold or a block in the back that sprung or helped to spring Shufflebein the rest of the way to the goal line? Touchdown is good. And Carter Shufflebein is ruled for unsportsmanlike conduct. I don't know if he was taunting on his way to the end zone or at least in the end zone. You have to think it'd have to be after the play, but a 19-yard touchdown is good on the quick hitter to Carter Shufflebein. And so far, so good as the Governors lead 12-0. Carter Templeton, who had his first PAT attempt blocked, will try another one. That first kick snap was a little bit high. Lathan rounds the long snapper here. We'll check it. Brookings moving on the near side, but Templeton's kick is up and good. Everything worked out that time, and the Governors finish off a 10-play scoring drive. And on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard, 13-0 Governors. They'll kick with 10:47 to play in the second quarter when we come back with more Pierre Governor football.
Dakota Pro Air is a locally family-owned business that has been taking care of farmers' aerial needs since 2020. With locations in Letcher and Miller, Dakota Pro Air is able to provide service to a large area. Ground conditions too wet, or just don't want those sprayer tracks in your field? Give Dakota Pro Air a call for all your chemical and fertilizer application needs at 605-248-2314.
Olson Plumbing in Pierre provides complete plumbing and drain
Welcome
cleaning.
back to the Owyhee Federal Credit
Well,
Union.
after a Porter Hunsley interception, which came at the Governor 17-yard line at the 3:25 mark of the first quarter, the Governors march down and go 10 plays and 83 yards in 4 minutes and 38 seconds. And for the second time, Caleb Lounsbury and Carter Shufflebine hook up, this time from 19 yards out. Carter Templeton's PAT is good, and we've got a 13-0 lead in favor of the Pierre Governors. Now, there was an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that was called on that touchdown play. The touchdown stood, but the Governors are still kicking off from the 40-yard line. So, we play on. High end over end kick taken shy at the 15-yard line, and the return man for Brookings stumbles in the mud and goes down. That is wide receiver Jude Mendering. And an unfortunate turn of events probably cost him 10 or 15 yards there. So Brookings will have it 1st and 10 at the 22. I'm actually wondering that myself. There's a discussion between the officials here.
Yeah, and then not only that, they waived off the penalty that was on the PAT attempt there too from Brookings. So I'm not really sure where they're going with stuff here.
There you go. They didn't enforce that penalty, which is kind of what we were thinking. And Pierre kicked off from the 40-yard line. Trey Krieger, who is doing the refereeing duties tonight, had a little quick discussion with Coach Steve Steele, and I saw Coach nod in agreement. And so Pierre will kick off from the 25-yard line, and that helps Brookings' cause, no doubt about it. First of all, you get 15 extra yards with a penalty, but Jude Mendering, who slipped in the mud hole out on the 25-yard line, or the 20, fell ahead to the 22. Brookings certainly stands to get better field position coming up here. We'll see if Carter Templeton puts a big old soccer boot in this one.
Yeah, and that'll be kind of interesting, too, because where they're going to be catching the ball is actually smack dab right in the middle of the mud there. So, what's that going to do here on this return? So, a lot of factors tonight.
13-0 Governors, though. Again, homecoming off to a good start here. Both of these teams 2-1. Templeton kicks it deeper. This is the other return man from the 22-yard line up to the far side. And Pierre with good coverage across the 30, 35, and down to the 37. And that's Jaden Hale returning this time. So instead of the 22, Brookings will have, well, pretty much exactly 15 yards forward, and they'll set up shop at the 37-yard line. Brookings had a very productive drive going on their opening possession. 4 first downs picked up, but a 3rd and 10 interception thrown by Gavin Anderson, as he was looking for Bergen Tetzloff, but Porter Hunsley had the positioning. And then the Governors went and scored again. 13-0. Pierre is 2 for 2. Brookings will try for their second offensive possession. Staying on the ground with Gus Armenta. And again, more running room here. And Gus gets spun forward across the 45 down to the 49-yard line. In the last line of defense for the Governors, not sure who that was. Might have been Hudson Schaefer. But he had to wrestle him forward just to get him down. That was the best run of the day so far for the Brookings Bobcats. Give them 12 up to the 49-yard line. Quick first down picked up here Bobcats moving right to left here in the second quarter. Armenta gets the call again. He's in Pierre territory, crossing the 50. And the Governors will stack him up at the 47 for a pickup of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, watching these call plays, I mean, same formation. They're basically running the same side. What's kind of intriguing about it is that some of the plays are pulling a guard out there, like we've seen 2 plays ago, which gave them that big yardage. They actually were able to pick up our one man that should have probably made the tackle there. And then there, that's just simply a little quick hitter. They didn't bring anybody.
Got an end on the right side. Keep an eye on Bergen Tetzloff. Jude Mendering flanked wide to the left, but they'll stay on the ground again on 2nd and 6. And Armenta gets through. Just made himself skinny around the right, between the right guard and right tackle. Makes his way inside the 45, down to the 41 for 6 more.
One of the points I was going to bring up about Brookings, just kind of watching a little bit of their film, is that they almost kind of got that winter-esque kind of style of football to them, to where, you know, they're constantly run, but yet we know they've got that number 10 out there that they can slip out into a pass pattern at any point in time. So they get us kind of, you know, coming forward. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see that here out of one of these next couple of plays.
I think both teams in this game so far, Brookings in particular, they're just going with the idea of stick with what works. And they've got it 1st and 10 here at the 41-yard line of the Governors, giving it to Armenta again. He ran up into a pile of people, but bounces off all the way inside the Pierre 30 to the 21-yard line. That's good for 13 more. And I'm going to be honest here, who that reminds me of with Carter Gordon as the head coach, it reminds me of his grandfather, Ken Koistinen, who ran the program here back in the earlies in the 80s and early 90s. Coach Koistinen was famous for sticking with what worked, and he had the athletes that made a lot of things work back then. 1st and 10 to the 28-yard line, right in the middle of the field between the hash marks. Anderson in the gun, and they stay on the ground. Armenta's got a rhythm going. Tried to bounce off again inside the 25, but he's wrapped up from below this time. And once again, there is Sam Larson. You've got Maximus Schmitz in on the stop. But the offensive line for Brookings is winning the battle once again here. Give them 4. 2nd down and 6. Armenta's carried 12 times already, and we're hitting the 8-minute mark of the second quarter. But the Governors do lead 13-0. 7 points off of a turnover on that last sequence for the Governors. Anderson, play action here. Governors get into the backfield. Anderson stumbles, but he stays on his feet. Now to the 20-yard line to the 15. They'll be run out of bounds there. There's a flag thrown by the near side official. Did Brookings get a hold to try to seal the edge?
Yeah, I think either a hold or maybe a little block in the back there.
Good job by Anderson to keep that one alive. And Coach Steele gets his say as to how he wants to handle this, I think. Well, let's see. The play would have ended at about the 18-yard line. That would have made it close to a 1st down, but Brookings won't get that. Clock stops with 7:40 left. Good call, John Calda. Block in the back here. That'll be enforced from the spot, and a 10-yard penalty that'll send them back to the 34-yard line. Well, they marked that from the line of scrimmage, as it turns out. So it'll be 2nd down and 16 here for the Bobcats, as they move now into whatever breeze there is. This is Bergen Tetzloff, the big tight end who runs out of the Wildcat. Coach Steele has seen this on film, and the Governors were ready for it. Tetzloff from the near hash moved to his right, crossed inside the 35, will pick up the 33. But that's a gain of only 1 for Tetzloff. Tetzloff, again, size and stature-wise, very similar to the Governors' big tight end, Cooper Terwilliger. Bergen listed at 6'5", 235. Got a timeout. Brookings right here on a 3rd and 14 that'll be coming up with 7:09 to play. Timeouts in our broadcast are sponsored by Coca-Cola Bottling in Pierre. Let's step aside for 30 seconds, and we'll be back with more. Pierre leading 13-0. This is Pierre Governor football.
To commercial and residential customers, Olson Plumbing understands how the simple things in life are often the things we can't live without, and running water is the top of the list. Olson Plumbing offers 24/7 emergency services, and they can be at your location in under an hour in most cases. If you need help with your plumbing system, call Olson Plumbing 605-224-6436.
You asked for it.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union press box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Back at Phil Trotner Stadium in Hollister Field. Homecoming night for the Governors. Joining the Brookings Bobcats. And again, one thing about Brookings, Coach, you go back a few years and that team had such a young offense. I mean, it seemed like 75% of their team was freshmen and sophomores. They just had a massive retooling, but the progress they have made. Last year they showed to be a great team. They were kind of a force. And now this year there's a lot of parity going on in 11AA, and Brookings and Pierre are both right in the mix. Out of the Coca-Cola timeout, though, 3rd and 14. Terwilliger just got held, and a pass is caught on the far side. This is Tetzloff dancing inside the 15, down to the 10-yard line. Terwilliger got pulled to the turf, though, and a flag is thrown from behind as he was just busting through the D-line. So, take away a big play here for Brookings. They started this one at their 33-yard line. They got all the way inside the 15, down near the 10. Would have been a first down pickup, but they're going to have to mark off 10 more yards. And they will spot the Bobcats here back at about the 42. So 3 10-yard infractions against Brookings so far. Just under 7 minutes left. The scoreboard says 3rd and 24. Obviously, if you're Brookings, you are in 4-down territory here. You don't need it all. Terwilliger coming around the edge. Gavin Anderson breaks out that way. Far side floats it up. Tetzloff makes a heck of a grab. Up in the air, John Calda with the reaction to it. My goodness, Bergen Tetzloff making a sparkling play, and dare I say, a right-on-the-money highlight play that in our broadcast brought to you by Rounds Financial Services of Pierre. Inside the 20-yard line, he has it at the 17, and that's a pickup of 25 yards.
Yeah, what a play by Anderson. I mean, in terms of just getting that ball to where you know that the only guy that can get to it is going to be number 10. And again, just giving him a shot, giving an opportunity, and pretty athletic play there.
Well, and if he breaks out of that pocket, there's only one guy he's looking for, and it's the tallest guy in white and red. Back to the ground they go. I believe it's Gus Sarmenta here around the right side. Gus's uniform getting a little bit dirty already here. In the first half, he comes out of there, and Bobcats inside the 15-yard line. What a breath of fresh air now for Brookings, or a sigh of relief, if you will, with this fresh set of downs, and they've got it 2nd and 7 after a 3-yard pickup.
I still like the way, in terms of Brookings, how they're controlling the line of scrimmage right now. It just seems like they're upfield 2-3 yards almost every play. Something we got to take care of on the defensive side of the ball here.
It's really hard to believe that Brookings is trailing this game 13-0 with the way it's going. Their time of possession, they're owning that as well. Armenta wrapped up by Maximus Schmitz here. Minimal gain this time, as Schmitz will force a 3rd and 5. And a 1-yard pickup to the 13.
And you go back to, the key points that Coach Steele was making earlier in terms of, we kind of expected that out of them. And that's why it's important to get up again, by 2 scorers, because, they can drive the field and they can take as much time as they want off, but they're not scoring quickly. Again, 1 or 2 possessions could possibly get back into this game, but, it takes a while for them to get there.
Spread formation, 2 wideouts, both sides. It is Tetzloff in the slot to the right. Ball between the hash marks. Rolling that way to the right is Anderson. He'll float it up again, but this time it's a little too high for Tetzloff to bring it down. He just floated it too much. You said he got him, and he was wide open. I think the Governors missed an assignment this time, but what a break for Pierre. Incomplete pass, and it'll be 4th down and 5 at the 13-yard line. And Brookings looks like they're swapping personnel, and they're going to try a field goal attempt.
And that's something we're going to probably see from them quite a bit more here in the second half. Going into the second half of, they're going to get that quarterback rolling out a little bit to his right. They said he can scramble a little bit. So when do you actually commit to going to tackle him and giving up on number 10?
Line drive kick is up, and it's good. Drew Johnson, the place kicker for the Bobcats, as he nails one from 30 yards out. Brookings is on the board, but the Governors still lead 13-3, 4:49 to go. Second quarter, Brookings kicks when we come back with more Pierre Governor football.
Flights between Pierre and Minneapolis. Now you can book nonstop flights from Pierre to Minneapolis and Denver on Denver Air Connection. 1-hour flights on 50-passenger jets with fares starting at just $119 one way. Seats are limited and restrictions apply. Business, pleasure, a game, a winter getaway. It's easy when you fly from Pierre. Visit DenverAirConnection.com/Expedia to book your trip today. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre Regional Airport. Minneapolis flights begin November 30th.
In a world that's always...
Back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union press box. Owyhee Federal...
Second possession of the night for Brookings. Both of them have chewed off about 5 or 6 minutes of first half clock. This time, they took over on their own 37-yard line. They run 10 plays. They go 50 yards in 5 minutes and 53 seconds, but they do have to settle for a 30-yard field goal. I was a little surprised they didn't go for it there, but a 30-yard field goal does get Brookings on the board, and updated score again, 13-3. Brian Oakland, John Calda back here at the stadium. Second home game of the season for the Governors, both of which have occurred in wet and muddy conditions here at Hollister Field. But it's still good to be back home, and a nice night for football as it turns out. Right to left kick. Drew Johnson will hook it to the left side. It'll bounce at the 15, taking on a couple of hops. And here comes Jaron Deal, I believe, up inside the numbers. And Deal is wrapped up as he approaches the 25, but he's downed quickly at the 23. So the Governors will take over there, and this will be their third offensive possession. They've scored touchdowns on both of their first two opportunities. Governors struck quickly on the third play of the game in their first possession, but they themselves had a long, sustained 10-play drive on their second possession. So a fast-moving first half, and the Governors will try to make the most of 4 minutes and 44 seconds left here in the second quarter. Low snap in the gun, but Lounsbury pitches it near side. Carter Merrill will make his way across the 25 and be tackled inbounds right near the 30, and that's where they'll spot him. So 7 yards to start this possession for Merrill and the Governors.
Yeah, good little run by Merrill there, but even better outside blocking there by Shufflebein. Just loved seeing that one-on-one and just taking his guy out of bounds and just, giving a little alley there for him to get some extra yardage out of it.
2nd and 3. Well, the unsung heroes are those wide receivers that block, especially when they do so much catching of the football and running with it like Shufflebein does. You just don't see them as blockers until you actually see them as blockers, but you have to be paying attention in order to do that. Another pitch to Merrill, and again, kind of dancing his way through the muck and the mire across the 30. He'll pick up the 33, just enough for another first down for the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, starting to see a little bit of change out of Brookings defense now. They're coming with a 4-man front. They're sometimes walking up that outside back or creating it to a 5-man, and still not doing enough damage, but starting to slow us down just a skosh on that last play.
Merrill already over 60-plus yards here in the first half. Cooper Terwilliger shifting from right to left, and he'll lead the way as Merrill sweeps out left side. More running room here. 40 to the 50. Cuts back. He hesitated into Brookings territory. He gets the 45 brought down close to the 40. They spot him to the Bobcat 41-yard line. So another big gain here.
But
and there is a flag back there. Flag thrown and resting right now at the Pierre 38-yard line. So that'll take away a 25 or so yard gain. Governors called for a hold. And they'll mark it off here from the 33-yard line, which was the line of scrimmage.
And I'm not frustrated on, so much. I'm more frustrated about just the call itself. I think it was on Cooper on that case, but man, it was one of those where he actually enforced his will on that guy and was just driving, just kind of one of those pile drive types of blocks. And I think that's what they got him on a hold for, which I would consider to be a great block.
Yeah. I just heard Coach Scott and I say it was on the 38-yard line. It was actually, I had it on the 33 before this play, so 10 yards from there. Should make it 1st and 20, which is what the down marker has. But then again, where was the holding penalty? I mean, it could have been, as you described it, it could have been ahead of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think it was a couple yards ahead.
So they're checking it again from the original line of scrimmage. Clock is stopped with 3:10 to play. We're in the second quarter. And once again, of course, you get the crowd with their opinions as well. Coach Steve Steele has his opinion. Well, believe it or not, as you think about the season here, game number 4 in a 9-game regular season. Here we almost are approaching the halfway point of the year. The Governors have 2 road games coming up, and they're both going to be difficult. You got Yankton next weekend. You got the O'Gorman Knights, the 11 AAA opponent, and you think about it, John Calder, that last year at this time the Governors were scuffling through a 4-game losing skid, and I think what we've seen so far, even though they had a difficult game against Huron a couple of weeks ago, but what you've seen so far, Governors have something good going right now. Yeah. But there's a lot of teams right now in 11 AA who certainly have reason to have high hopes for what's to come in late October and certainly through the first half of November here.
Yeah, and I think, again, it's going to be interesting just those last even 2 weeks of the year, just seeing kind of where everything falls in terms of 1 versus 4, 1 versus, the semifinal matchup, quarterfinal matchups as well.
10-yard penalty stands from the line of scrimmage. It's 1st and 20 for the Governors here. Still plenty of time, 3:10 to go. They've already had a big, quick strike for a touchdown once. He'll throw underneath here, and that is Deal with the catch. He slipped one tackle, but couldn't get out of the ankle tie of number 3, Cash Sather, one of the linebackers. Deal's first catch of the night. In fact, the first catch for anybody other than Carter Shufflebine, as Caleb Lounsbury is now 6 for 6 here in the first half. Shufflebine, 5 catches and 107 yards and 2 touchdowns already.
One great job by the offensive line there, giving Lounsbury time. 2 great reads by Lounsbury. I think he was looking for Terwilliger over the middle, right? That wasn't there, and then he was able to check down to Deal on that.
And it's 2nd and 10. Pump fake, and this pass is picked off on the far side. The route was jumped, and a good job by Brookings this time. And that's Jones Huntermer, number 15. He's a backup quarterback, so he understands the quarterbacking position. I think Huntermer probably saw that play to Lincoln Dilgis last week. I don't know if Dilgis was the intended receiver this time. Don't know if you saw that there, Coach, but the interception and the return by Huntermer puts Brookings in good shape, and they've got it at the Pierre 34-yard line. 2:16 to play. Both teams with a turnover lost, both by interceptions now. And Gus Armenta running the football on first down for 4 yards. He'll gain the 30. So a quick change of possession here, and Brookings picking up the urgency in the tail end of the first half. And Armenta has been the workhorse so far for the Bobcats. They'll give it to him again. Just following blockers on the right half. of the offensive line up that far hash mark. We'll see if when Brookings uses the 2 timeouts they have left here, this one puts them close to a first down, but still a yard shy, just inside the 25.
Yeah, nothing special. I mean, again, it's basically same play after same play, just hitting different gaps.
Armenta in the backfield again. Gavin Anderson takes the snap. Armenta checking the situation, and as he tries to make his move, suddenly he's got 2 or 3 Governor black shirts out there. And Hudson Schaefer leading the charge, and right now this is a 4th down situation as there was no gain on that play. Good job, Schaefer and company. Brookings kicked a 30-yard field goal on 4th and 5 on their last possession. They're going for it here on 4th down. They have Tetzloff looking to take the snap, but this is Coach Steve Steele taking the defensive timeout, and I think a pretty good job and a good time for a Coca-Cola break in the action here. Timeout sponsored by Coca-Cola Bottling in Pierre. We'll break for 30 seconds. Still 13-3 Governors, but Brookings trying to get something in before halftime. 45 seconds to play. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football.
Your journey matters. And at Iverson Auto Group, we're here to get you on the road with a great selection of new and used vehicles and trailers, and keep you on the road with top-notch service, maintenance, and support. Every mile of your journey, the experienced team at Iverson Auto in Mitchell and Huron are here to help. Visit us in Mitchell and Huron or start your search at iversonauto.com to begin your journey today.
At Jan Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal.
You got a big play coming here if you're the Brookings Bobcats. It's 4th and about a yard at most. They've got it at the Pier 25-yard line. Jones Huntemer has just picked off Caleb Lounsbury. Porter Hunsley had an intercepted pass earlier, also of Gavin Anderson, but Brookings will stay with their big fella, Tetzloff, as he will try to find his way and just sneak it into the bunch. And that is a rugby scrum out there now, and Brookings will move Tetzloff for 5 yards and ultimately get the 20-yard line. It's a first down to the red zone. And with 38 seconds left, Brookings will take their second charge timeout now. Another Coca-Cola break in the action and another 30-second step aside for us to help our sponsors out as well. And we're back with more. 13-3, Governors lead late first half. This is Governor Football.
They've been building partnerships for life by treating customers right, offering a low-pressure sales process, no haggling over price, passing low overhead savings on, and providing a Ford-certified service department fixing it right the very first time. If you're looking for a new Ford, a quality pre-owned vehicle, a new or used ATV, or a trailer, stop by Jan Bussey Ford in Highmore and experience the difference.
Jan Bussey Ford, building partnerships for life.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
13-3 Governors. They scored on their first 2 possessions. Threw a pick on their 3rd possession. Brookings is on their 3rd possession. It's been a first half full of sustained drives from both teams combined. The one exception was the opening drive for the Governors that went 3 plays and ended with a 68-yard catch and run by Carter Shufflebine.
And now if you're Brookings, you got 36 seconds left, and you probably got to bail off of the run that you've been establishing so well for the last couple of series. Where's your go-to here? Obviously, you're probably looking at number 10.
One timeout left, and look at number 10. He is, again, split wide in the slot to the right. Brookings gets the Governors on a bit of a freeze play, which Pierre is so adept at doing, and that'll add 5 yards for the Bobcats. So tack on 5, and that'll put Brookings at 1st and 5 to the 15-yard line. 5th penalty against the Governors so far here in this first half. Now Gavin Anderson resetting. Still in the pistol. Gus Armenta behind him, looking to throw. 1st and 5. He throws to the out, right side. And a flag is thrown for presumably pass interference. And the Governor defender out there is that Schaefer, I believe. It did look, and we're looking all the way across the field, I thought that maybe he had his hand draped around the backside of Bergen Tetzlaff, but...
yeah. I mean, but again, it's one of those things, I mean, you got to stick on him, obviously, right? You got to be, again, not give him any opportunities. So give up the penalty, possibly give him a touchdown. We'll probably take a penalty in that case there and, give him a couple yards that way.
So a 15-yard penalty otherwise, but they'll move it half the distance to the goal. And that'll put Brookings right down in between the 7 and the 8-yard line. And it's 1st and goal. Penalty number 6, up the middle on the run. Routes actually bounce it out to the right side. And Armenta again is inside the 5, and we've got a whistle, and Brookings will take their final timeout of the first half of play. They've got it down to the 3-yard line. That's 4 for Gus Armenta. And we'll take one more 30-second timeout. Still 13-3. The Governor defense trying to stand their ground and shut the door when we come back with more Pierre Governor football.
Graham Tire in...
When the world feels big, a small note can mean everything. Find mental health support at sdbehavioralhealth.gov.
This
Welcome
is
back
what
to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union press box. Owyhee Federal Credit.
Now it's football in the trenches here on homecoming night. Soggy field, plenty of mud. Brookings out of timeouts and 22 seconds left on 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. They give it to Tetzlaff. He goes toward the middle, but then bounces out where nobody is collected for the Governors, and that's an easy touchdown walked in by Bergen Tetzlaff, the tight end running the quarterback position in the Wildcat. Brookings with their first touchdown of the night. That makes it 13-9 with 18 seconds to play here in the first half. And Drew Johnson on to try to tack on the PAT. Snap, spot, hold is good. Johnson's kick is a line drive, but it's also good. And the Bobcats score 10 unanswered to close out the first half here. Pierre will still have 18 seconds to try to make something happen with Brookings kicking when we come back. After a 30-second step aside, you're listening to Pierre Governor Football.
This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union press
Trotner
box.
Stadium and Hollister Field, and so far both teams with key touchdowns with points off of turnovers. There's been an interception taken away by both teams. Well, both teams were able to turn those interceptions into touchdowns. Brookings doing it from 34 yards out after a Jones-Huntemer pick of Caleb Lounsbury. 6 plays, 34 yards for the Bobcat offense in a minute and 56 seconds. Bergen Tetzlaff runs it in from 3 yards out. Drew Johnson's PAT makes it 13-10, and we've got a ball game here as we approach halftime. 18 seconds left. Johnson will kick. It's a low squibber. It stays on the ground, and the Governors cover it up from the 30, and I think that's a big help for the Governors. No time off the clock, essentially, and Pierre, who's already got a 68-yard touchdown themselves tonight, may have an opportunity to make something big happen here. Max Stanglin was the one who fell on it for the Governors, so they've got the first down here. Still 2 timeouts as well. 17 seconds on the clock, and they have it 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
Yeah, knowing Coach Steele, I mean, he's got 3 plays in his pocket right now that we could use in about 18 seconds, just depending on what kind of yards we get after a catch.
Ball's on the near side, inside the near hash mark. Gov's moving right to left, and it's going to be a pitch out to Carter Templeton. He loses the football after taking a big hit, and the Governors are bailed out here by Bryson Wallman, the center, who comes over to the near side, and that certainly could have been bad news for the Governors. And since that happened, the Govs are just going to let the clock run out. It turned into a 3-yard gain, but I think the Governors probably trying to pick up a big old chunk play with Merrill on the ground. Brookings made him pay for it, and Merrill put the ball on the ground. Coach Steele keeps his 2 timeouts in his pocket. We go to halftime. On the Gales Gas Service scoreboard, homecoming night, it's Pierre 13 and the Brookings Bobcats 10. We're at halftime. The scoreboard brought to you by Gales Gas Service in Pierre. As we'll pause for 3 minutes, halftime coming up, homecoming festivities, including a marching band performance on the field. But homecoming brought to you by Wealth Partners, Ameriprise Financial, in the Capitol Creek Center Plaza on East Sioux Avenue in Pierre. We're back in 3 minutes to talk about it. Governor Football and your official voice of the Govs, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
Ameriprise Advisors. Just another small-town business. It means showing up for our member owners when they need us, supporting the organizations that empower the next generation of community leaders and agriculturalists, and providing resources to help ensure the communities we live in are here for generations to come. At AgTegra Cooperative, local isn't just about where our locations are. It's about serving our farmers, our employees, and our communities in ways that nobody else will.
Hey Josie, why so glum, chum? I can't find a way to get my whole group to one spot without taking all these cars. You haven't heard of Denwall Transportation? They have luxury seating buses with air conditioning, outlets to charge your phone, and other must-haves for traveling. Whoa, no way! Yeah, you should check them out. Where can I find them? You can follow them on Facebook or denwalltransportation.com, or hey, let's give them a call at 605-532-3836. Denwall Transportation, let us do the driving.
Now's your chance for a great deal on smoking fast fiber internet from Venture Communications. Upgrade to the speed you need, up to 1 gig. And with whole home Wi-Fi included as part of your service, experience no-lag gaming, your favorite music, web surfing, HD video streaming, and connect to the latest smart devices. If you're ready for an upgrade, call or visit Venture Communications online.
Allied Plumbing and Heating is your contact for business, farm, commercial, and residential plumbing needs located in Pierre. No job is too big or small for Allied. Put our over 50 years of experience to work for you. At Allied Plumbing and Heating, the only surprise we want for our customers is how fast they get the job done. That's why we offer free estimates on every single service, no hidden charges. Give them a call today at Allied Plumbing and Heating. Remember, you can rely on your allies.
John Hoffman Electric is your neighborhood electrical service contractor and so much more. No job is too big or too small for our team of professionals. We pride ourselves on keeping up with new technologies such as Aerial, an augmented reality visual tool used to customize and experience a finished space before breaking ground. So whether you're building new or renovating a home, farm, or commercial space, let John Hoffman Electric light the way. John Hoffman is a proud sponsor of all local activities broadcast on Live Ticket TV.
Protect what matters most with the Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, American Family Insurance. Our personalized insurance solutions ensure you're covered, no matter what life throws your way. From home and auto to farm, commercial, and life, we tailor policies to fit your unique needs. With our dedicated team and exceptional service, you'll have peace of mind knowing you're in good hands. Contact the Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, LLC.
Best of luck to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
The Pierre Pep Band gets their opportunity to shine on the field in the marching band performance. Of course, a lot of you may have seen them in the homecoming parade a couple of days ago as well. Very interesting first half of play, but pretty well played on the part of both teams. You've got a 13-10 halftime lead. The Governors lead the Brookings Bobcats. Bobcats will get the ball to start the second half of play. Pierre won the opening toss. and they elected to receive. And on the third play of their opening drive that started from their own 27, they get a slant pass from Caleb Lounsbury to Carter Shufflebine over the middle for 68 yards. And once again, we see the speed of Carter Shufflebine on a wet and muddy field. We saw him go 96 yards 3 weeks ago in the win over Aberdeen Central. This time, 68 yards to the house. However, after a high snap, the kick of Carter Templeton was blocked, and the Governors settled for 6 and a 6-0 lead with 10:34 to play in the first quarter. Brookings had a great drive on their opening possession. A whole lot of plays. In fact, they started on their own 30, but on the 14th play of the drive, Gavin Anderson tried to sell it too much maybe, or tried to force one into Bergen Tetzlaff, and Porter Hunsley, the sophomore defender for the Governors, had position all the way, and Hunsley picked him off, returned it to the Governors' 17-yard line. So one big threat thwarted by the Governors there. And then from their own 17, the Governors ran 10 plays in 4 minutes and 38 seconds, and they get another touchdown pass from Caleb Lounsbury to Carter Shufflebine, this time from 19 yards out. And Templeton was able to add on the PAT to make it 13-0 just inside the start of the second quarter. Brookings counters on their ensuing possession from their own 37-yard line, a 10-play, 50-yard drive, but it stalls, and they end up kicking a 30-yard field goal. Drew Johnson is good from there to make it 13-3 with 4:49 to play. And then at the 4:44 mark, the Governors take over again from their own 23-yard line, but in a passing situation, it was Jones Huntermer jumping the route as Lounsbury pump faked, and he wanted to get the go route up the left sideline. Much as very similar to the touchdown pass he threw from 60 yards out to Lincoln Dilges a week ago. But Huntermer jumped that route, intercepts it, sets up the Bobcats at the Pierre 34-yard line. 6 plays later, and a couple of penalties as well, Bergen Tetzlaff runs it in from 3 yards out. Johnson's PAT made it 13-10. Governors ran one play, but it was a running play, and Carter Merrill was hit hard, and he fumbled the football. Once the Governors fell on it, the coaching staff just decided to let that clock run, and the clock ran out on our first half, and that's how we are at a 13-10 halftime lead in favor of the Governors. Pierre outgaining Brookings unofficially 196-147 so far. On the ground, 79 yards for the Governors. Carter Merrill, in his first action of the season, has carried 10 times for a total of 73 yards. Kea Ducheneau has just 1 carry for 6 yards. There's your 79 on the ground. Through the air, Lounsbury was 6 of 6, a perfect day going until that interception taken away by Huntermer. So Lounsbury 6 of 7 for 117 yards overall, as Carter Shufflebine has caught 5 of those 6 completions for 107. Jaron Deal has a 10-yard completion late in the first half as well. So Lounsbury 2 touchdowns plus the pick. The Governors pick up just 4 first downs along the way, but obviously some big plays adding to that yardage total. They were penalized 6 times for losses of 52 yards, and again, guilty of the 1 turnover in that first half. As for Brookings, 147 total. It's 111 on the ground as they are churning out the yards behind a big offensive line. Gus Armenta, 18 carries in the first half for 83 yards overall. Next in line is Otto Eidsness, who has 3 carries for 10 yards. Gavin Anderson, the quarterback, has a 9-yard carry, and Bergen Tetzlaff has 9 yards on 3 carries, including the first and only touchdown on the board for Brookings from 3 yards out. Anderson through the air, just 2 of 3. He's thrown a pick, but he's completed 2 passes to Tetzlaff for 36 yards, one of which continued that field goal drive, as it turned out, on a sparkling catch by Tetzlaff, who went up and spun in midair and kind of fell on his back, but he was able to maintain possession, and he converted a 3rd and long with a 25-yard gain. Meanwhile, Brookings has been penalized 3 times, and they've picked up 9 first downs along the way, but like the Governors, they have turned it over 1 time as both quarterbacks have been intercepted, and both turnovers for either team have been turned into a touchdown by the other team on the ensuing possession. It's 13-10, the Governors, as the Emerald Regiment pounds out the school fight song for the Governors. It feels like homecoming night here as the crowd will applaud in appreciation. The drum majors taking their bows. And we'll take another 3-minute timeout as well. We're in the middle of our Wealth Partners Ameriprise Financial halftime break. It's 13-10 Governors, your official voice to the Governors. River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
Competition to the Pierre Governors from Black Sheep Agronomy, your local agronomy experts. Black Sheep Agronomy wants you to have a successful farm plan, and they're focused on products and practices that work in this region. As community members themselves, Tyler, Tice, and Austin support area students who work hard in their school and extracurricular activities. Good luck, Governors from Black Sheep Agronomy. Call 842-6104 for all your agronomy needs.
Stay in a beautiful Black Hills vacation home, the Summit on Dancing Sky near Leeds, South Dakota, in the popular Powder House Pass development. It's a modern rustic design with over 5,000 square feet, 6 bedrooms, and 5 baths for you to enjoy. You'll get gorgeous views of the Terry Peak Mountain Range. There's a community pool to enjoy, and you're close to all the attractions like Deadwood, Sturgis, Spearfish, and a whole lot more. The Summit on Dancing Sky. Visit them at DancingSky.com.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Getting ready to head out to the game or getting back afterwards? DJ Senix is a must before or after your travels. DJ Senix has a great selection of hot and cold snacks. They're second to none for your choice of hot or cold beverages too. And when you're heading out, be sure to fuel up with quality from the pumps at DJ's with 3 different grades. Back late? No problem. DJ's features pay at the pump convenience 24 hours a day. DJ Senix, 507 West Sioux and Pierre. Your choice for quality service and selection.
At Dakota Behavioral Health, we offer comprehensive mental health services, including medication management. With offices in Pierre and Winter, we provide in-person and telehealth appointments to fit your schedule. Whether you're managing anxiety, depression, stress, or other concerns, our compassionate team is here to help. We are currently accepting new clients, so take the first step toward better mental health today. Call Dakota Behavioral Health at 605-702-6769 or visit dakotabh.com to schedule your appointment.
Fentanyl is a powerful
Welcome
synthetic.
back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal
Hag Ag is locally owned and serves central and western South Dakota. Brandon has over 20 years experience in the ag industry with extensive knowledge of this area. Hag Ag provides one stop for all your Pioneer seed and chemical needs and offers ground and aerial application. Call Brandon Hag today at 605-216-6758. 605-216-6758.
Back again, Phil Troutner Stadium and Hollister Field on homecoming night. The Pierre Governors are leading the Brookings Bobcats by the score of 13-10. Other scores in Class 11 AA. Huron now leads Sturgis at halftime, and that's out west, 12-9. Spearfish leading Aberdeen Central at halftime, 14-0. They just started the third period, and T Area leads Douglas 31-0. That one also out west. The only game otherwise going on in the east is Watertown leading at Mitchell right now, 22-6, and that is late in the second quarter. The AAA games among the big schools. Sioux Falls Lincoln defeated Sioux Falls Jefferson tonight, 57-36. O'Gorman, who the Governors will see in a couple of weeks, leads Rapid City Central 23-0, and that one in Sioux Falls, and that's halfway through the third quarter. Brandon Valley has dispatched of Sioux Falls Roosevelt 55-14, and Sioux Falls Washington leads out in Rapid City over the Stevens Raiders 20-0, pitching a shutout at halftime so far. Other scores that we have for you and watching the Stanley County Buffaloes on KGFX. They're down at Gregory, but the Gorillas are looking like the Gorillas of old. They lead Stanley County 40-6, and that one still is fairly early in the second quarter. John Calda's Bonham Cavaliers lead 12-0 at home over Kimball White Lake. They're into the third period. Meanwhile, other scores have Lyman leading Bennett County at halftime, 26-8. New Underwood has a 28-6 lead at Jones County as well. And up north, Harriet Selby area leading Timberlake 26-0. And Sully Buttes has a 14-0 lead at Gettysburg. That one in Oneida, rather. That is at the half. That's our game on KMLO. A little surprised at the score there. Sully Buttes just a 2-touchdown lead at halftime. Platte Getty's in a good one. Leads 14-6 over Woolsey Wessington. Phillip out west still early has the first touchdown at Kadoka area, leading 6-0. Sunshine Bible Academy beaten this afternoon by Iroquois Lake Preston. And just looking for any other scores, Faulkton leads Leola Frederick area 18-0 in 9-man action. And then we'll take a look at 11B. And check in on Winter, perhaps, as they trail 13-6 at halftime. They're playing at Woonsocket, Wessington Springs, Sanborn Central. Our game on Star 99, and Mobridge Pollock continues to look good so far this season. They lead 36-0 at halftime, and they play at Webster. Chamberlain trailing at halftime as well on KPLO to Rapid City Christian by the score of 8-6. And one other score that's a big one in 11A, our own Matt Thorson, who is the head coach at West Central, playing at reigning state champion Lennox, and they are scoreless as they have just started the third quarter. So best of luck to West Central and Coach Thor and his bunch there. Here it's 13-10, and we are underway in the second half. They've just announced a Team Hall of Fame induction, the 1964 Pierre Governor football team that had 4 All-Staters, people like Gaylord Sonnenschein, who was the quarterback of that team back then, and there were about 23 members of that team that were still here and able to attend as they are inducted into the Pierre Governor Hall of Fame. They outscored their opponents 179-13 that year. The only blemish on their season, though, was a 6-0 upset loss at the hands of Rapid City Central way back when. That was in the fall of 1964. The class of 1965, well represented here tonight. In fact, they announced the homecoming royalty, and we wish congratulations to Corday Austin, the homecoming king, Riley Berg, the homecoming queen, and they even had the 1965 homecoming king and queen here in attendance tonight. Let's sneak in one final 1-minute timeout, 90 seconds in fact. We'll come out and get you set for the second half. This is our Wealth Partners halftime. The Governors lead Brookings 13-10 on River 92.7.
Smart grocery shop.
Up to 100 times stronger than morphine. Even a tiny amount can be deadly. It's often mixed with other drugs without your knowledge, increasing your risk of overdose. Protect yourself and your loved ones and avoid unknown substances. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember, one pill can kill. For more information on fentanyl prevention, visit your local health resource or speak to a healthcare professional today. This message was brought to you by the Great Plains Tribal Opioid Response, so that the people may live.
Explore the 2023 Lincoln Navigator at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Every time you approach your Lincoln, you'll receive a re-carpet welcome. Twin turbocharged 3.5 V6 engine with auto start-stop technology. You'll travel confidently with technology that meets all your needs. Now you can get the 2023 Navigator for 5.9% at 72 months. Stop in to see the full vehicle lineup at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Capital City Ford in Pierre, South Dakota.
Futures aren't made by accident. They're dreamt, they're planned, they're discovered. At Northern State University, futures are the result of hard work and grit. NSU is an academic powerhouse with a spirit of exploration and genuine support, where professors know your name and push you to discover what you're truly capable of. But don't take our word for it. When you experience Northern, you'll see the difference here.
The best back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union press box. Owyhee Federal.
Getting set for the second half. The Governors leading by 3. Brian Oakland joined by John Calda. And, Coach, as we get set for this second half, you're talking about adjustments. And, Of course, both teams have to keep their feet underneath them, but this first drive by the Brookings Bobcats, the Governors on defense, is going to tell a lot, in my opinion, as to who's going to ultimately come out on top in this one. And I think if you're the Governors, you've got to make a defensive stop right here. Brookings has some momentum with 10 unanswered points.
Yeah, and all that's going to start out with the line of scrimmage. I think on both sides of the ball right now, you take a look at our offensive line, their offensive line. They're just dictating that line of scrimmage, and that's where it's coming from. We got to figure out a way to shut that down and just limit the yards to underneath 3 every play.
Comtech opening kick put in play by Carter Templeton of the Pierre Governors. And it's Jaden Hale on the far side, taking up across the 25 to the 30-yard line. That's where the Bobcats are going to start things off here. Brookings, time of possession for Brookings in that first half, 3 drives, and even their touchdown drive went 6 plays in 1:56, but that one started and ran in about the 2-minute drill, but they had a couple of drives where they just opened the holes for Gus Armenta in particular, and were able to chew up about 6 minutes of clock. Not once, but twice. And Armenta, who starts right, cuts back to the left, is very slippery to bring down in the far hash mark. Brookings starts in east to west or right to left fashion. Here's you visualize this one, and they've got a 9-yard gain from the 30 to the 39. It'll be second down and an easy one coming up here for the Bobcats.
Armenta a little bit more patient on that run than what we've seen in the past, and he's just kind of waiting for some of those little openings to open up rather than just going to get 3-4 yards. He's finding ways to now get 7 or 8 or 9 yards.
It's just it seems like he's just taking baby steps, at least on that one there. But watch him here as he takes the call again. And the crowd, the pile just moves up beyond the 40 to the 45-yard line. Far side official marks him down right on the stripe, and that's a gain of 6 more. And yeah, you almost have to be patient because we've seen quick movements that don't work out. We've seen ball carriers lose their footing on this slick and muddy field. 4 or 5 inches of rain this past week. I don't think we've really needed it. I'll just say that. Far hash mark. Gavin Anderson takes the snap in the gun. Another inside handoff. Here's Armenta, but this time he gets wrapped up for a short gain. Lathan Rounds might have been the one to wrap him up. Lincoln Schoenhardt is in to help push him back. Max Bogenhagen is coming off the field to swap with somebody else, and that's just a gain of 1. That's how it starts if you're the Governors. Now you got to make another good stop here, maybe force Brookings into a passing situation when they've only thrown the football 3 times tonight.
Yeah, good job by our lineman on that last play, actually kind of knifing down and getting past that offensive lineman, getting to the ball carrier.
2nd and 9 from the 46. Anderson snap. He wants to throw. Throwing over the middle. Has a man, but he's overthrown just enough. He's looking for Tetzloff. And the Governor defenders are there with some safety help, but a good job, I believe, by Logan Whitty. Nope, that's Aiden Beam on the far side, step for step with Tetzloff, and Anderson just overthrows. So instead of throwing on 3rd down, which probably would have been expected, the Bobcats tried a 2nd down throw, and instead they'll go to 3rd and 9 here from just ahead of their own 46-yard line. Crowd wants defense. They can sense the importance of this play already as well. 2 wides right, 2 wides to the left, which is the wide side of the field. Once again, it's Anderson looking up the middle of the field, scrambling out of there, but the Governors will wrap him up right at about the line of scrimmage. He's only going to get a yard here. And a great job by the Governors to converge. Coach, it was almost as if the D-line and Max Schmitz and company, they just sat there and kind of waited to see what Anderson was going to do. They didn't pursue. They didn't over-pursue necessarily. They just waited for Anderson to come their way. And they get him for a 1-yard gain, and it's 4th and 8. And we've got our first punt of the night coming from either team.
Yeah, we had a good job on the ends. They're just basically creating our rush and, basically kind of collapsing that pocket and just allowing the inside guys to sit back and, just wait for him to make his move.
Drew Johnson, the kicker, is also the punter for the Bobcats. And the deep man, Shufflebein, lets it go. And it'll come to an end at about the 20-yard line. So about a 33-yard punt here for Johnson. Field position switches in Brookings' favor as the Governors will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. But the defensive stop is the most important thing, and for now the Governors maintain that 13-10 lead, which they had at the break. And let's reset it. It's at the 17-yard line, so 36 yards on the punt there with no return. 9:04 to go, third quarter. Here comes Caleb Lounsbury. Low snap. He does get it on a handoff to Carter Merrill. Carter fumbled on his last carry of the first half. Governors fell on it. Merrill protecting with two hands here, but it's a minimal gain for the Governors this time.
Probably a little timing, issue there on that one. Just not allowing him to get that full head of speed and, get to his hole as quickly as what he'd want to.
Merrill 73 yards on 10 carries in the first half. Just one on his first carry of the third period. Play action as Lounsbury rolls out, coming this way, throws across his body, had Jaron Deal, but this one, in my estimation, hit the turf. Brookings is saying that's on the ground, and the officials are going to have to rule this one an incomplete pass.
Late call.
It was, but I think they did get it right.
Right.
So I think we both agreed that ball hit the turf as Deal had to reach around behind him. Tough throw for Lounsbury, but he had some zip on it.
Yeah, good containment by the line. Good job on Brookings' side, but the coverage that they were having on there. Did find one little small opening, but like you said, that's a tough pass to make across the body.
So now 3rd and 10 on the board. 3rd and 9, we'll call it here for the Govs. Lounsbury in the gun. The Pierre is moving left to right. Lounsbury wants to get out of the pocket, and now he's got to dance away from defenders who are in pursuit, and Lounsbury cannot. He'll go down for a loss of a yard and a quarterback sack. Got Huntemer in there, who's had a big game for the Bobcats. This is a loss back to the 17. It's only a loss of a yard, but whereas the Governors were able to force a punt for Brookings, Pierre themselves on offense, stuck at a 3 and out. Credit that Bobcat defense. Ready defensively for whatever the Governors might have had coming out of halftime. Pierre's first punt of the night from Lounsbury. It's a low line drive. And then it's Hudson Stoser who will be there to down it as Brookings let it go. The deep man, Jude Mendering, lets it die at the 50-yard line. Pierre gets just a 33-yard punt of their own, and Brookings has great field position at the midfield stripe. 7:33 to go. We're in the third quarter, 13-10 Governors. Pierre scored on their first two possessions of the night. Brookings scored the last 10 points of that first half of play, and they've got it for the second time here in the third quarter. Right out in front of us, Brookings in white on white with the red numbers and red helmets. Two wideouts to the near side. Ball's just inside the near hash mark, and here is Gus Armenta. And again, dancing, happy feet behind the line of scrimmage, but he tries to make his burst, and he'll get inside the 50 into Governor territory, picking up only 3 along the way. It'll be at the Pierre 47, and 2nd down and 7 to go. Well, now they mark him up for to the 46 for 4. Call it 2nd and 6. That was you could see it, Coach, right there.
Yeah,
just that happy feet. But again, excuse me, the throat does not, I'm having some issues tonight. But, the patience of the running back kind of setting himself up for a really nice night so far. He counters back from right to left. And the Governors will wrap him up here. Sam Larson in on the stop. Devin Binger making a play. If that wasn't, what do I see, 65 or is it 55? No, Binger is out there.
Yep.
And Max Schmidt's in there as well. So short gain here, and they'll give him a yard. And it's resting on the 45-yard line right now.
Get back to Wildcat here.
And that means Bergen Tetzloff as they bunch it up. Tetzloff, 235 pounds, goes into the middle of the pile, but he disappears. And everybody on the field is short of the line to gain, and That includes Bergen Tetzlaff, who gets 2, maybe 3 at best to the 42-yard line. The down marker goes to number 4.
And I like that style a little bit better off our defensive line rather than trying to go up high on their offensive line and possibly get driven back. We just kind of went low and just trying to create piles and not even giving them any room to run there. Still getting a couple yards, but pretty minimal.
The Cats with 3 on 3rd and 5. They're looking for a 3 again, and they get more here. Tetzlaff around the right side, inside the 40 to the 35, diving ahead to the 31-yard line. Big gain, as it turns out, for Bergen Tetzlaff and a Brookings Bobcat first down.
We've seen that on the touchdown that he ran in, basically, again, just going that Wildcat, was able to bounce it outside. We just got to get, kind of maintain. We know 90% of the time he's probably going to run up the middle, but we've got to have those outside guys that are waiting for him.
Well, you use the run to set up the pass. Brookings uses the dive to set up the...
Yeah, it's there, absolutely.
The mini sweep, let's call it. Back to Anderson at quarterback here. Back to Armenta, the single setback. And back to the ground they go with him. And once again, the Governors doing a good job and minimizing the damage here. And it might have been Hunsley in on the stop. Governors playing with Cooper Terwilliger in the D-line. And as I say that, Max Schmitz will come in and take his place. 2 for Armenta inside the 30 to the 29. It's 2nd down and 8. Another big possession defensively here for the Governors as we're under 5 minutes to go. 4:50 counting down, 3rd quarter. 13-10 Pierre leading on their homecoming night. Armenta again. And there again is Maximus Schmitz. He grabs him from behind and just holds him up right there. That's the adjustment the Governors have made defensively. They're selling out to stop the run here.
Yeah.
And, everybody's just got to stay aware of what else can happen.
Yeah, and when you look at it, just the experience that Brookings has right now on the line is really showing. No matter what front we're putting at them, they've got their blocking scheme down. It's like every guy knows where they need to be, where they got to go. And, it's not much of a window there for Armenta to get through, but he's finding them.
3rd and 6. Gavin Anderson takes the snap. It's still on the ground, and Armenta wrapped up by Schmitty again. Maximus Schmitz may have pushed him back a little bit here. Got Binger Schoenhardt in there too. 63 Lathan rounds. Devin Binger still out there defensively. That was a gain of nothing at best as they'll put a new ball in there, a drier one at that. The line of scrimmage will be the 27-yard line. That was the 26th carry of the night for Gus Armenta, who has, by my count, exactly 100 yards, but he didn't get any on that one. 4th down and 6 now. Play of the game coming here for the Governors with 3:20 to go. Still in the 3rd quarter. Govs want to get that ball back. 2 wide outs to the right. Tight end to the left is Jay Harris, the fullback. They'll throw long, looking for Tetzlaff, and it's a touchdown. He catches it over the top of Porter Hunsley. That ball was just high enough for Tetzlaff to bring it in. Hunsley had position, but he tried to reach up. He jumped as high as he could, and in retreat, he just couldn't quite reach it. I thought he might have a chance to knock it away, but not the case. It's a 27-yard touchdown pass from Gavin Anderson to Bergen Tetzlaff. The kid can do it all. Brookings tacks on 6. He'll add on another with a PAT from Drew Johnson. And the Bobcats have 17 unanswered on the board with 3:03 to go in the 3rd quarter. It's Brookings 17 and the Governors 13. We'll see if Pierre responds after a Brookings kick when we come back in 30 seconds. This is Pierre Governor Football.
Hotel in Rapid City supports all South Dakota student athletes and their families. They are conveniently located off Interstate 90, close to downtown and minutes from the beautiful Black Hills. The Ramcota offers sports and family-friendly rates. Guests can relax for free in the indoor water park. They have 36,000 square feet of banquet and meeting space, and the award-winning Minerva's Restaurant and Bar is located on site. Best Western Ramcota welcomes everyone to beautiful Rapid City, South Dakota. Back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union press box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Bobcats so far in the second half after both teams punted on their first possessions. Brookings had the field possession in their favor, and they go 8 plays, 50 yards, and on 4th down and 6, a lob pass up the seam from Gavin Anderson to Bergen Tetzloff, and that ball was thrown in exactly the perfect spot for Tetzloff to bring it in from 27 yards out. Drew Johnson's PAT makes it a 17-13 ball game. Kickoff for Brookings goes far side, a short one taken inside the 20-yard line. And the Governors will return it out across the 30 to about the 32. So Pierre football, and for the first time since the end of the Huron game a couple of weeks ago, the Governors are facing a deficit as they trail by 4, 2:58 to go, third quarter. Obviously plenty of time, but still a good time for the Governors to respond if they have a response in them. Tetzloff, by the way, catching his 3rd pass of the night. Governors go with Carter Merrill, and we've got flags that'll be thrown, specifically by the umpire, which usually means holding, and Carter Merrill didn't get a big gain anyway. In fact, maybe got pushed back inside the 30-yard line, so Brookings is going to have a decision to make. And in all honesty, if I'm Brookings, I'd seriously think about taking second down here. On a loss of 2. Max Schmitz singled out on the penalty, but Brookings will take the penalty. And it'll be 1st and 20. The Governors will be backed up to their own 21-yard line. You know, and I think if you're Pierre, you still have to trust that passing offense, it seems. But right now, they really are intent on trying to establish the run with Carter Merrill.
Yeah, I mean, earlier it was working pretty well. Just right now, I mean, when you look, they're still running that 3-man front, but now they're just those linebackers are really closing hard, and they're keying in on him and just coming in and blowing stuff up and causing a little bit more problems. It seemed like first quarter they were really kind of sitting back and playing, I would say, a little bit more preventative.
Well, we saw this last week, a fullback set, and Cooper Terwilliger is in at fullback. He'll try to lead the way to Merrill, but Merrill just trying to keep his feet underneath him for one thing. They wanted to sweep it out to the left side. Merrill didn't see an avenue, so he cuts back up the hash mark. Does get a positive gain, but 1st and 20. Turns now into, let's see, they'll spot this at the, I'm going to call it the 23, just a gain of 2, so 2nd down and 18 for the Governors from the 23-yard line. It's just, I mean, Carter Merrill's game is cutbacks, and this is just as hard of a field as you can have to make that happen. Lounsbury wants to throw on 2nd down. Long over the middle, and this one overshooting Schuffelbein by 5+ yards. Good arm shown by Schuffelbein, or by Lounsbury, but now we've got a flag thrown in the backfield. Holding against the Governors. Well, and then Brookings, I think, does the right thing. They'll decline it, and that'll stay 3rd and 18, but the incomplete pass will stand. Yeah, there you go. I mean, but that's still, it's good to see in this case, the Governors trying to air things out. Obviously, Schuffelbein is your guy. He's the fastest guy on the field, it seems.
And I really thought we were going to catch Brookings blitzing again, those inside backers, and be able to hit Terwilliger somewhere over the middle just on a little dump pass or something crossing, but they actually sat back and, again, kind of anticipating a pass in that case.
Terwilliger goes out wide to the left this time. He got trips to the right, near side. Lounsbury's looking for Coop. Goes far side. Timing pattern, and this one is overthrown just a few yards past Cooper Terwilliger. That's the first time this season we've seen Terwilliger show some speed, but or at least he was sent out to go high flying, but
yeah, and you got good matchups out there. You try to put him on a corner that maybe you've got 5-6 inches on. You know, when you start looking at the ball that could be throwing, try to get something up there that he can go up and fight for, in that case. And, we know he's got speed. We've seen it on the track. We've seen it on the field last year and this year again. But, again, maybe just air that out just a little bit more and allow him to run underneath and at least go up and get it.
Yeah, if I'm being nitpicky, I was watching Lounsbury's eyes the entire time. He never took his eyes off of Lounsbury either, so didn't try to sell it really any other way. This is the second straight punt for the Governors. Lounsbury, a much better effort this time. You're going to send the Brookings deep man way back, and then it bounces at the 30. Big bounce inside the 20 to the 15, all the way down to the 10-yard line of the Brookings Bobcats. If the Governors needed to change field position, they got it on a huge punt by Caleb Lounsbury. Jude Mendering, he got spun around in trying to retreat. I'm trying to do some math in my mind here, but right now I've got that as a 57-yard punt, unofficially for Caleb Lounsbury. Well, that can provide a spark in and itself. Bobcats will have it 1st and 10 at their own 11-yard line now. And for the first time, they'll go on offense with the lead. It's Brookings up 17-13. Here on homecoming night, Brian Oakland play-by-play, John Calda with the analysis. Glad to have you aboard here tonight. This is a straight quarterback run, and Gavin Anderson running for his life. Governors will run him down for maybe a gain of 1 at most. It looks like they'll spot him at the 12. Didn't really expect a straight quarterback keep that time. I don't know if that was a broken play, but Anderson didn't even look to turn things around. Of course, we talked about his scrambling ability, so we know he has running ability. We just haven't seen it on a straight quarterback keeper so far. Late stages of the third quarter as we come to the 1-minute mark. Doves trailing by 4 at 17-13. Anderson takes the snap, wants to throw on 2nd and 9. Rolls out to the right. Another scramble. There's Logan Whitty breaking off his assignment. He'll push him out of bounds. Anderson will gain across the 15. And it looks like they'll have him at the 17 for 5 yards.
That's the tough part about, scrambling quarterback like that is, how many yards you give before you break off your receiver. Whitty did a great job there, but unfortunately, you leave too early and he's behind the line of scrimmage. He then basically floats pass out there, or you got to basically commit when he's, a yard or 2 downfield. By that time, he's getting 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, you really just have to know exactly where that line of scrimmage is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And know when the quarterback has committed. Here's Tetzloff now, 3rd and 4. He comes near side, but he's trying to make a cut as well. He'll dive over the 20-yard line for the 22. That's close to the line to gain, and now we've got a flag that's thrown at the end of the play and a hat thrown as well. So we've got 2 infractions coming here. It might be one from both teams. Logan Whitty gets his name called again for making a tackle on the big fella, Tetzloff. Unsportsmanlike going both ways. They were both after the play, so the play stands. And Tetzloff makes it to the 22, which was just enough for a first down gain. So it'll be first down and a fresh set. We're in the final minute of the third quarter in a 17-13 ball game. This game, again, providing a classic example of the parity that we're seeing in 11AA right now. In Pierre and Brookings. And of course, Huron beats T-Area last week. Huron has a win over Pierre. Sturgis has a win over Brookings. They're 3-0.
Spearfish up on Aberdeen Central right now. I mean, again, receiving votes versus, we thought Aberdeen being a pretty good team, and there's a lot of weird things going on in AA this year.
And then there's Yankton still out there
absolutely.
Too. All right, and we'll see Yankton next week, but we've got a timeout called by the Bobcats at Coca-Cola breaking the action. Let's pause for 30 seconds. 43 seconds still to go in the third quarter. We're back with more Pierre Governor football.
Online loan application. You can go to our website and apply for a loan when it's most convenient for you. We make getting loan approval fast and easy. Our local lenders are available to assist you if you have any questions. We make it pain-free to get that loan you've been wanting. We're an equal housing lender. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, your hometown credit union since 1955. Federally insured by NCUA.
Get your sprayer. Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union press box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Back at Phil Trotter Stadium in Hollister Field. Brookings just picked up a first down, and they've got it at their own 22-yard line. That after a 57-yard punt by Caleb Lounsbury to change the tide as far as field position goes. But the Governors would love to get the ball back as soon as possible with minimal yardage, and they're doing the job here as Will Eilers comes up with the stop of Gus Armenta. And it looks like a gain of a half a yard. Well, the ball's still at the 22, so we'll say a gain of nothing for now. Brookings going to bleed the clock dry here in the third quarter. Last play started with 43 seconds, so I guess if it's under, 40?
Yeah.
Your play clock, so they can run the clock out here, and our third quarter is going to be in the books. Brookings outscores the Governors 7-0 in the quarter, and they have the lead in the Gales Gas Service scoreboard 17-13. Scoreboard from Gales Gas Service in Pierre. Let's pause for 60 seconds. Quarter number 4. It's going to be a good one coming up on homecoming night. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on your official voice of the Govs, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
Winter with Grossenberg Implements Service Department Winterization Special going on now. Through October 31st, bring in your John Deere self-propelled sprayer and get discounted labor and parts rates, only $650. And that includes genuine John Deere winterization fluid for protection down to minus 40 degrees. But hurry, this offer must be completed and by October 31st, 2025 to qualify. Stop by Grossenberg Implement and see your service or parts manager today for complete details.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
We go to the fourth at Phil Trotter Stadium in Hollister Field as the Pierre Governors try to stand their ground defensively, trying to get control of this football game back in the green and black. But Brookings has it second down and 10 as we reverse direction. Brookings with Gus Armenta, the workhorse tonight, crossing the 25, close to the 30, stood up at the 29. That's going to be a gain of 7, though. And a third down and negotiable coming up here for the Bobcats.
I see a little shiftiness out of him on that one, and probably getting about a good 3-4 yards. Was able to actually cut up in the field, and still those choppy little feet, good footwork in that muddy section of the field.
So 3rd and 3. It's still Anderson with a pretty clean white jersey. Just saying. In there at quarterback, he's got 2 receivers far side right, or to the left, and a tight end on the wing to the right. Armenta again. Not much here. The Governors are standing him up. There's Eilers. There's Beam. The big boys are underneath. Sam Larson, who's played a good ball game tonight, comes up with a stop, and Brookings is swapping personnel here, but they do have an injured Bobcat on the ground. Unable to get up. Ball spots at the 30-yard line. That's a gain of 1. Which would be 4th and about 3 coming up. So a good job by the Governors, and it looks like we've got a cramp for one of the big fellas of the Bobcats on the field. So 11:03 to go in the fourth quarter. Let's take a quick injury timeout here. Timeout sponsored by Coca-Cola Bottling. 30 seconds, and we're back. The Governors trail 17-13 on River 92.7.
Thinking of a new or used car, motorcycle, pickup, or RV? Think of us. We make all sorts of vehicle loans. We can set you up with payments that fit your budget. So if you have getting some new wheels in mind, stop by and see us. We'll get you the right loan. Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA. We're big on you.
We're small enough to know your name, but we're big on you.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box.
Back at Hollister on a 61-degree night here, homecoming, but cramps can still come into play, and one of the linemen for the Bobcats, number 64. Well, if I don't have a 64. 60, Brady Caraway was up and able to walk off on his own power. Good to see. So a big opportunity for the Governors to make something happen here on a punt, presumably coming from Drew Johnson. Oh, it's a high snap over his head. He retreats back inside the 10, picks it up, kicks it. It goes nowhere. Brookings picks it up at the 10. The Governors will swarm him. And a huge play to the negative for the Brookings Bobcats. You get that sometimes with wet, sticky, muddy fields. The punt snap just sailed right over the head of the punter, Drew Johnson. He did what he could to try to pick it up and get his body squared. But the botched punt has the Governors in a great spot now, right in the middle of the red zone. 1st and 10, 1st and goal, in fact, from the Bobcat 10-yard line. The first time all night that the Governors will start a drive in Brookings territory. Coach, when you're given a gift like that, do not come away with anything but 6. Yeah. Am I right?
Oh, I agree.
Carter Merrill is the tailback behind Caleb Lounsbury. In the gun. 2 receivers both ways. Merrill, he's got the 10 and the 5 and a touchdown. And this time it was Carter Merrill just biding his time, waiting for the spots to open up. He makes the burst, a 10-yard touchdown run. A bad punt snap for Brookings, essentially a turnover, if not worse than a turnover, as it turns out. And the Governors reclaim the lead with 10:39 to play in the 4th quarter. 19-17. Crowd appreciates fireworks. There will be more fireworks later on tonight when this game comes to an end. Carter Templeton trying to make it a 3-point lead. Kick is high, a kick is true and through. Your new score, Pierre 20, Brookings 17. Governors will kick when we come back at 30 seconds with more Pierre Governor football.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
At Ringneck Energy.
Back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat...
Well, backpedaling once again. Brookings had it 4th and 3 at the 30-yard line. They wanted to punt, but they ultimately lost 20 yards on a play with a punt snap. Went over the top of the punter's head. Ultimately, the Governors tackle the ball carrier at the 10-yard line. Bobcats lost 20 on that play. The Governors start 1st and goal from the 10-yard line, and Carter Merrill scampers his way in for 6. Carter Templeton tacks on the PAT. The Governors take the lead back, and they lead now 20-17. Right on the money were the Governors on that punt snap. And, of course, turning it into a touchdown, a Rounds Financial Services right on the money highlight play that could be the turning point in this game, to say the least. Here's a short kick by Templeton, taken by an up man at the 20-yard line of the Bobcats. This might be Owen Eidsness, who we saw earlier, and it is. He'll cross the 30 up to the 35. Pretty good return, as it turns out. And the Bobcats will have it 1st and 10 with decent field position. Still plenty of time for either team to try to make something happen the rest of the way. But the Governors lead 20-17. Week number 4 out of a 9-week regular season. Gavin Anderson and company on the near hash mark. Brookings moving west to east. Here's Gus Sarmenta. There are the Governors underneath to wrap him up. A good ankle tackle there. Well, I think that's Maximus Schmitz. Once again, he has been playing so well on both sides of the football, and of course playing in place of Johnny Sharon and just making plays all over the place.
Not just tonight. We're talking all games that he's played in this year. I'd say his name's been called so much. Just a big impact on the line.
Gus Armenta's really getting wrapped up as of late. He did have a 7-yarder a couple of carries ago, but his last 5 carries have only garnered him 8 yards total. That after scoring or running up 100 yards on his first 25. Here comes Lathan Rounds, but Anderson is able to elude him. He'll roll left, far side of the field, throw it away, out of bounds. He's out of the tackle box. That's a good job by Anderson, but Lathan Rounds did something, John Calder, that you said the Governors need to do more of and try to force Anderson out of the pocket to his left, and that's what they did there.
Yep, that's a big focus to them all week in practice, and they know he can scramble to the right. They know they've got number 10 set up, where they need him to be, and again, just getting him back across his body. He just doesn't have much go-to on that side.
So a run for nothing, an incomplete pass, and now Brookings still has it 3rd and 10. 9:40 to play, 4th quarter, 20-17, Governors lead. Anderson takes the snap. Out of the pistol, looks right, wants to scramble, gets to the 35, coming to the near side, he'll be taken down at the 40, well shy of the line to gain. He's 5 yards short. Sam Larson, Will Eilers, and you've got 74, Tucker Ott in there coming away from the pile. And Brookings is going to be forced to punt again.
Kind of looking at a little change in Brookings now too. Last couple series, like they've really gone away from that, that stereotypical kind of run. They've kind of brought in some different formations, and in that case, they actually brought 10 out on a wide receiver versus him playing more of that tight end position. Just maybe kind of throwing off their game a little bit. But Governors responded well.
Another high snap, but Johnson has this one, and he puts a boot into it. It bounces at the 30. Carter Shufflebine will let it go all the way inside the 20, down to the 15-yard line. So a good punt out of that. And I think the one thing, though, the Governors are forcing the issue because they are, they're figuring out this run scheme of Brookings, and that's the second half adjustments that they've been able to make.
Yeah, they've been bringing in a little bit different frontage. They're rolling up an inside back or two, either an end position, maybe even dropping him back in times, but sometimes rushing 4, sometimes 3, sometimes bringing 5. Even a little change within our linemen in terms of just knifing inside and getting to a gap and getting to that ball carrier versus trying to necessarily block a gap and just kind of maintain position.
45-yard punt for Drew Johnson. That puts the Governors at their own 15-yard line in their own red zone. They'll go to Merrill, who scored the 10-yarder on his last touch to give the Govs the lead back, and Bergen Tetzloff will wrap him up and bring him down at the 20. That's a gain of 5, though, for Carter Merrill. Merrill approaching 100 yards in his first game action of the season. Got him officially at 91 right now on 14 totes. Governors lead by 3, and I imagine they'll try to keep chewing some clock here. Pitch to Merrill again, short side of the field, near side, and he's got the 25, so the left side of the line does the job in leading the way. Merrill knows the way to the line to gain. Bryson Wallman from the center spot. He's the last lineman to come out of there. Unsung hero, the littlest guy on that line. We saw it from him last year, and he's making plays here tonight as well. First down, Governors.
Love watching him play. Also, Max Bogenhagen on that play, actually coming off a double team and sweeping out and taking on a second blocker out there too, just giving Merrill some extra yards there.
7:50 counting down, 4th quarter. Merrill in behind Lounsbury again. This is the same formation as the 10-yard touchdown. Merrill can't slip the tackle of Tetzloff again, but down here in front of us at the 30-yard line, Still a solid gain of 4, and it'll be 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, and there you've seen that shiftiness of Merrill a little bit there. Bogenhagen comes out, tries to take on a backer. Backer actually slipped to the outside, and, Merrill actually seeing that happen and cut back to the inside, was able to get his yards.
Governors will stay in 4 wide. Terwilliger is slotted left. And again, short side of the field. You got 2 receivers on the far side as well, but Pierre continuing. I think right now the biggest thing is hang on to the football and chew as much clock as you can. Merrill going to get wrapped up. In fact, is going to be forced out of bounds here, and that's the one thing the Governors really don't need. And in hindsight there, Coach, is it better to, in this case, run to the far side of the field? You want to stay with what's working, and that is the left side of the O-line. But
he's seen some good things out of that. Obviously, you're just hoping to not get out of bounds, but still you got 7 minutes on the clock. I'm guaranteed that's probably not a huge worry of theirs right now, but could come into play here towards the end of this quarter.
A rare loss of 2. It's 3rd and 8 for the Governors, just under 7 minutes to go. Looks like the Governors will change the play here, and they'll shift Terwilliger slot left, again, near side. Ball on the near hash mark. Lounsbury looking to throw. Over the middle, it's tipped and then caught by Terwilliger. The Bobcats got the tip. Cooper Terwilliger dragging 2 or 3 Bobcats for an extra few yards. And Cash Sather, who had the tip, is just beside himself right now. He made a great play. But the bounce of the ball straight up in the air, and it just so happened to come right to Cooper Terwilliger, a hometown bounce for the Governors.
And that easily could have been an interception just as much as it came into our hands there, too. Just think that pass was thrown a little bit too far inside, and don't think he was quite expecting it to be thrown at him.
It's a 17-yard gain. Terwilliger is right on the money for a Rounds Financial Services highlight play. Cash Sather about turn the tide in Brookings' favor. Here's Merrill again. Straight up the hash mark. 45 to the 47-yard line. Just a gain of 2, but more time will chew away as well as we approach the halfway mark of quarter number 4. 20-17 Governors. It's a 7-7 second half so far on the scoreboard. And the Governors getting the signals sent in here. Watch Shufflebine. He's far out to the far side now. The third of 3 receivers to the right. Terwilliger is in the tight end spot. With his fingertips on the ground, he's trying to seal off the edge for Merrill, and Merrill slips a tackle. Gets into Brookings territory to the 49, just across midfield. And that'll be a gain of 4 for Carter Merrill, his 19th carry of the night. He is over 100 yards now. Got him at 105. 5:05 counting down. Shufflebine looking to the sideline. You see a lot of, I don't know, or kind of what's going just on, reactions from the Governors here. So
that's just kind of where Steele's at with his calls. He's checking the defense out and making sure it's right. So, they're a little impatient, but just give him time.
3rd and 4 it is for Merrill. He cuts back a little bit, but there is Cash Sather once again. Makes the play this time along with Tetzloff. He got 52 for Brookings down in front of us. Zach Hageman in on the stop. That's a short gain, and it's decision time for the Governors. You got it 4th and 3 at the Brookings 48-yard line. 4:19 to go.
And I like
Steele wants so bad to go for it here. That's his style, but you've got to play field position right now, don't you?
Again, you kind of look at Brookings' offense, and obviously they're scoring points, but it's not big points. It's not large chunks at one time. And so for them to make a drive in 3 minutes, they're going to have to run some hurry-up stuff.
Good snap. Lounsbury will kick. It's not his best effort. It's off the side of his foot. We've got a flag in the backfield. And the ball stops at the 21-yard line. We'll check the flag. I don't think there was contact. I'm not really sure what Mr. Krieger saw here. Brookings, I think, for all intents and purposes, would certainly take the ball at the 21-yard line. I think if you give Lounsbury another chance to kick, unsportsmanlike. Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
A Brookings player did something in the way of what Trey Krieger called fighting. Owen Hoppy, a 205-pound defensive end, has been ejected, so he must have thrown a punch. And I just have to assume that's still going to be after the kick, obviously, but maybe even after the play. Half the distance to the goal is going to mark Brookings back to the 10-yard line. Something you didn't really expect there, but the Governors really got some help in the field position game with that. Mistake by the Bobcats. Pierre is going to take a timeout here. It's a Coca-Cola break in the action, and they'll try to defensively preserve a 20-17 lead with 3:47 left in the fourth quarter. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. Timeouts brought to you by Coca-Cola Bottling in Pierre. You're listening to Pierre Governor Homecoming Football, your official voice of the Govs. River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
Mission is to produce renewable energy that adds value to grain and livestock production, enhances the income of their investor partners, and provide a safe, rewarding work environment. Located at 901 Redwood Avenue in Oneida, South Dakota. Call 605-945-6900 or check ringneckenergy.com. A proud supporter of local schools and wishes all students the best of luck in all their activities during the school year, creating economic opportunities in our community.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box.
Friday night under the lights. Welcome back to Phil Troutner Stadium at Hollister Field. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football.
Driven by the Office of Highway Safety. River 92.7, KGFX FM, and K296FI Pierre. Stay alive. Don't text and drive.
Brian Oakland, John Calda on the mics here. You've got William Wilson in studio, Brian Menning on camera for live ticket. This one's turned into a good one. The Governors lead 20-17. Brookings has it 1st and 10 at their own 10-yard line, and the Governor defensive line is continuing what they've done pretty much this entire second half in standing up the running game. That was Owen Eidsness running the football for the first time since the first quarter.
And who's making first contact? Max Schmitz.
Schmitz again?
Yep, absolutely.
I think this is a pretty good time to have people listen to our postgame when we announce a Player of the Game award, among other things. Kids playing a heck of a game tonight. 3:15 to play, second down and 10. Anderson is out of the pistol. Gus Armenta will take the handoff here, and you've got Sam Larson, who's playing a heck of a game, sealing the gap. Porter Hunsley is there to close it off, and Brookings just seems a little bit, I don't know, I don't want to say out of options right now, but they aren't really opening the playbook up very much here.
No, and it's what we talked about earlier in the night. I mean, it's just something, don't go away from it if it's working, but right now it's not working. So, they're trying some different formations. I think something that's a little bit off to them, and just not able to get that flow and play. I mean, we're coming downhill hard right now and just getting those stops in the backfield.
Half a yard to Armenta. We'll still call it 3rd and 10. Watch for number 10, Bergen Tetzloff. Anderson's probably eyeing him, but he's got to get flushed out of the pocket. Rolls to his left, throws against his body. He's got Jones Huntemer up in the air and a first down gain, but there's a flag in the backfield right near the line of scrimmage again. Huntemer, a backup receiver, his primary duties are defensively in the backfield. He has an interception tonight, in fact. He's also the backup quarterback for this team. The officials are talking about something here. Flag is resting right near that line of scrimmage, which was the 10 or 11-yard line.
You got to imagine hold, but I don't know, maybe illegal man downfield in that case, but a lot of times in that scrambling situation with those quarterbacks, it just seems like there's always an opportunity for a hold.
Very well could be. We've seen illegal downfield a couple of times this year on very similar plays. Huntemer's catch was enough for the first down, but the ball has just been pitched back to that spot. And they say Anderson was ahead of the line of scrimmage. They call it illegal forward pass.
And lost it down.
And a loss of down is huge on this. So a 5-yard penalty, but a loss of down. 5 yards because it's half the distance to the goal, and Brookings has no choice but to punt it away from their own 5-yard line. So, to be technical about it, the line of scrimmage was about the 10-yard line. The flag was near the 12-yard line if they threw it where the foul occurred. If that's the case, those officials were right on top of it. Here's Schuffelbein on a hop at the Brookings 40-yard line. 30, near side to the 20, cuts back. 15, and he's down at the 13-yard line. And the Governors are in great shape to salt away this thing. Another short field finally brought down by number 20, Jalen Hale. Big return there, and it's once again Carter Schuffelbein right on the money with a Rounds Financial Services highlight play.
Great heads-up play there.
And I love the fact that Schuffelbein made the play on a hop. We've seen a lot of times Governor punt returners will stay away from punts that are hitting the turf. In fact, on the most previous punt by Brookings, they got 15 extra yards on a bounce. But here we go. Carter Merrill from the 15. Flag thrown from behind. Merrill to the 10-yard line. But we may have a holding penalty against the Governors, and now we may have a cramp from Carter Merrill in his left leg. Schuffelbein trying to help him up, and now Sam Nas and the training staff out to work on that. We've got a holding Pierre. Max Bogenhagen will be mentioned there. And it's a 10-yard mark off against the Govs. Their 8th penalty marked against them tonight. Meanwhile, Carter Merrill still getting worked on. That gives the Governors an opportunity to come together and chat a little bit. 1:54 to play. We're in the fourth quarter. The Governors lost the lead. Brookings ran off 17 unanswered points in this game. 10 in the second quarter, 7 in the third. But then the Governors at the 10:39 mark of the fourth quarter, after a bad punt snap over the head of the punter, Pierre took over at the Brookings 10-yard line. One play later, Carter Merrill ran it in from those 10 yards out. And Merrill's really dealing with cramping issues here. And again, this is his first game action of the season. It's in game number 4. Let's tell you what's coming up in Governor Sports, as it's been a very busy week. Tomorrow here on River 92.7, the Pierre Governor soccer squads will be at the PILC soccer fields. They host T-Area. Games at 12 and 2. Justin Cowart will have the call with Chris Derry on those starting at 11:30. Meanwhile, I'll head down to T where the Governor volleyball team has a game as well, and we'll have volleyball at 1:30 on KGFX 1060 AM, 103.1 FM to wrap up this busy homecoming week of football and volleyball and soccer. 1st and 20 for the Governors back at their 22-yard line. Kea Ducheneau steps in to run the football, but the Bobcats will wrap him up. And Brookings is going to stop the clock with a timeout here. I believe this is their second charge timeout. Coca-Cola breaking the action at that. No gain for Ducheneau. It'll be 2nd and 20 when we come back after this 30-second break in the action. 20-17 Governors, 1:45 to go. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football.
Ready to gain an edge?
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
Residential or commercial projects can be found at Bauman Lumber, 1223 Sale Barn Road, Fort Pierre, or call 223-9762.
And we're back at Phil Troutner Stadium at Hollister Field once again. Brian Oakland here and John Caldo. You lose Carter Merrill to a cramp, and obviously that's not quite what the Governors wanted to try to run this clock out. You put Ducheneau in, who ran great last week and ran well in Huron the week before, but the Bobcats stack him up for no gain. Suddenly, you might have to throw the football. But look who's taking the snap. It's Jaron Deal. And Deal can make plays with his feet. He starts right back to the left inside the near hash mark, inside the 20 to the 15, call it the 14. And now Brookings will take a timeout, and I believe this is their last timeout to gain another timeout to use another Coca-Cola break in the action. But I like the wrinkle here in Jaron Deal, who can make plays. We see him make plays in the sub-varsity ranks, and this is a kid who's going to just get more and more used all season long as we go along.
Yeah, especially when you give him a chance to sit back and actually read again the holes and just his quickness, speed, and he's got a pretty good knack for the game as well. I mean, good head on his shoulders, and seeing it last year in the freshman level, him being a quarterback, he just understands the game pretty well, and guy that deserves to get the ball every now and then.
He got 8 yards on that carry, so we'll set it up for third, and it looks like about 11. And the ball at the 14-yard line. Well, they do have to get to about the 3. So, in Deal, he started right. He cut back. It was actually a true cutback, which we haven't seen much of tonight because of the field conditions. And, that's... I don't want to call it reckless, but that is just it's just going full bore. If you're Jaron Deal, and he's still going to take another snap here on third down. So Brookings is out of timeouts if our estimations are correct. The Governors have 3rd and 11. Deal ready to take the snap. Stays on the hash mark, up the middle. He'll get wrapped up, spun forward to the 10, maybe the 9. And the Governors will let the clock, run as much as it can here. We'll see exactly where they spot it. We'll give him to the 10. That's 4 yards for Jaron Deal. And now 4th down and a long 6 for the Governors. Pierre has a couple of timeouts at their disposal yet. Coach Steele is right there with the near side official. And we'll watch the back judge, who he'll put his hand in the air at 10 seconds, and that just happened. And then he'll start counting down the last 5 seconds. At some point, everybody wants turf on this field. I still want a play clock. Something we could use.
Might be a cheaper option.
Governor timeout. 45 seconds to play. 4th and 7 after this 30-second Coca-Cola break. This is Pierre Governor football.
Tide Machinery's Service Technician Apprenticeship Program is designed for anyone wishing to become a diesel mechanic working on Case IH equipment through full-time, on-the-job training. Enjoy hands-on work experience, learn from factory-trained service experts, and apply your knowledge from school directly to your work with this unique program opportunity. Become a titan in the industry and grow with a dealership that invests in you at Tide Machinery, Highmore, Miller, and Pierre, your local Case IH dealer. Visit TitanMachinery.com/careers to learn more.
Do you have a
Welcome
pest
back
problem?
to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union press box.
Here, Governors, you're up 20-17. You've got 45 seconds to play in the 4th quarter. You've got 4th down and 7 at the Brookings 10-yard line. The big question is, what do you do? Do you go for it? Do you kick a field goal? Maybe try to go up by 6? Apparently, the Governors are going to try to go for it. Kia Ducheneau's in the backfield with Caleb Lounsbury at quarterback. Lounsbury's going to roll out to the right. And he throws. He's looking for Terwilliger. It's an underneath pass. I think it hit the deck. Incomplete. Which isn't the worst thing in the world. Obviously, the worst thing would have been an interception returned the other way. But I think the Governors had the luxury with Brookings without a timeout. The Governors had the luxury to run whatever play they wanted to, try to get what they could. If it doesn't work out, well, you still trust your defense, who's been playing very well in this second half. So the Govs are going to turn it over on downs. We have another injured Brookings Bobcats on the field. And hopefully, as we've seen a couple of cramps, including one for Carter Merrill, who was not able to play those last 3 downs after cramping up. But again, Brookings with a player down, and they're helping him up, and it's a long ways away. I'm not so sure that isn't. Nope, it's not Tetzloff. There he is in the sideline. So the Bobcats are in do-or-die mode here. No timeouts. 38 seconds to play. They've got it 1st and 10 at their own 10-yard line.
You got to imagine all eyes on number 10 right now, right? Get a guy over top of him.
Sure.
Looks like we do.
For sure. He is slotted to the left. Ball on the near hash mark. Left side is the wide side of the field. Gavin Anderson takes the snap. He's looking for Tetzloff, who's trying to break free, and he's got his man out there across the 30-yard line. Tetzloff able to get out of bounds and run only 8 seconds off of that play. 30 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter, and we'll see where they spot it.
You're kind of looking at that bend don't break type of defense right now in terms of, just we'll give up a couple yards.
Yep.
Obviously, that was a little more than what we probably wanted to, but willing to give up a couple yards to make sure it doesn't go deep.
Gain of 21. 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Anderson looks right. Going to scramble with it, and he goes down. A sack of the quarterback, and Brookings can't really afford to let much time run off the clock. A loss of 2 here. First sack of the Bobcat signal caller tonight, and he'll get up there and spike it. The train conductor is appreciating as they go by behind us. Now 14 seconds left. Technically an incomplete pass on the spike of the football. Boy, Brookings had a great start to this drive, that 21-yard out to Bergen Tetzloff, but now after the sack of the quarterback, and really I don't know that it was much of a sack for the Governors as Tetzloff just losing his footing and maybe getting tripped up, but they need a huge play now. 70 yards from pay dirt. 14 seconds to go. Of course they are. They could use a field goal if they get that far. Drew Johnson has already kicked one tonight. Far hash mark. Flushed out. Right side. Throws across the middle, and that's behind Jude Mendering, who can't bring it in. Hudson Schaefer in the area. Lincoln Schoenhard was there covering underneath routes as well. And now down to 8 seconds left. It's 4th down and 11 for the Bobcats.
That scary part was he had a little room to run there. I mean, even get to out of bounds if he needed to. Not quite what you're looking for.
Of course, maybe he had enough to get a first down, which would stop the clock, enough to come up and spike it too. But now they need 11, first and foremost. 8 ticks to go. Throw it over the middle. Too high for Tetzloff. There's your ball game right there. Nope, Mendering is there as well, but I'm sure he was looking for Tetzloff. Gavin Anderson, that one might have slipped, even though it looked like it might have been a pretty tight spiral. Brookings gave it a great effort tonight, but the Governors are going to come out of here with a homecoming victory. So long as they can just sit on it one time. 3 seconds to go. 20-17. And the crowd going to go home happy. By the way, fireworks are coming up, literally, from Smith's Fireworks. And if you're in Pierre, you will be hearing fireworks. And, if your pets don't like fireworks, at least get them prepared for what's to come. A kneel down for Caleb Lounsbury. The Governors win it on homecoming night. Your final score on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard. It's the Governors 20 and the Brookings Bobcats 17. Your final score. Scoreboard brought to you by Gales Gas Service in Pierre. When it gets cold, use them for their budget plan and keep full service to stay warm all season long. That's Gales Gas Service in Pierre. Great ball game. 2 real good teams out there on the field on a wet and soggy night. Muddy, of course, and they're giving it everything they have. This is the parody of Class 11 AA as Pierre beats Brookings by just a field goal tonight. 20-17, your final. We'll break for 3 minutes, and we'll come back, get into postgame. Postgame brought to you by Family Dental with offices in Pierre and Gettysburg. We'll give you the full recap. We'll chat with head coach Steve Steele about his 3rd win in 4 tries on the season. We've got your Hermanson Endodontics big plays of the game, and we've got your Cowboy Country Stores player of the game, all to announce in our Family Dental postgame. Coming up, you're listening to Pierre Governor Football and your official voice of the Governors, River 92.7 and DRGnews.com.
Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
Wow, Bill, you're walking so much better. What did you do?
Well, I got so tired of the pain and nearly fell. And one of my friends recommended physical therapy at Winter Physical Therapy. And you know what? My back also stopped hurting.
Huh. So how did you get started?
My doctor wrote me a referral, but that's not always needed. Turns out you always have a choice where you want to go.
So why did you choose Winter Physical Therapy?
I love to support our locally owned small businesses, and quite frankly, they give great personalized care.
Winter Physical Therapy. Exceptional care.
That moment when you realize your furnace is stone cold busted. We're talking a real put on every sweater you own, I can't feel my feet, penguin predicament. But fear not, there's an expert for that.
Let your local heating experts at Pites Service Experts keep you warm with $50 off any furnace repair.
Like it toasty? There's an expert for that.
Call Pites Service Experts at 866-EXPERTS. See website for license details.
For over 70 years, Pitt's Design Build has earned our reputation locally for serving communities across South Dakota. We provide design and building services for schools, hospitals, churches, commercial offices, multifamily housing, and so much more. Pitt's Design Build is conveniently located in Pierre, Mitchell, and Sioux Falls to serve you and your organization. We bring value to our clients by facilitating the design and/or construction process. Give us a call today and check us out at pittsdesignbuild.com for a free building consultation.
The Corner Station Convenience Store and the Crossing Pub are both conveniently located on Pleasant Drive in Pierre, South Dakota. At the Corner Station, grab your favorite hot and cold beverages and snacks while filling your vehicle up with Cenex brand gasoline. The Corner Station also features a super tunnel car wash to keep your vehicle sparkling clean. At the Crossing, grab a cold beverage and check out their selection of appetizers while watching the Stanley County Buffaloes and Pierre Governors live on their big screen televisions. Best of luck to all area students from the Corner Station and the Crossing.
DRG Media
Welcome
Group
back to the Owyhee Federal Credit
Phil Trotner Stadium at Hollister Field, and the fireworks have begun. Of course, there were fireworks on the field tonight as well. The Governors outlast the Brookings Bobcats in a 20-17 homecoming victory. Pierre improves to 3-1 on the season. Brookings will fall to 2-2. And I'm going to bring in John Calder right away to talk about this one, Coach. This is a game where it got. I don't know. It's a true football game in the sense that this game is won in the trenches because of the conditions and things like that. It got a little messy in terms of, kind of I don't want to. It doesn't seem like ugly is the right word, but the second half, the way the Governors responded against that Brookings rushing attack, I think Pierre just did the job, but it just seemed like there wasn't an awful lot happening in the second half, and it was kind of a ho-hum, blah, kind of a second half of play, despite the fact that there were a couple of big plays that had to be made. Governors needed a botched punch snap to help their cause, something like that. It was blah, but it was quirky. It was messy, but hey, it's just another way to win a football game, and the Governors know how to win football games in a lot of ways, and they found another way tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a defensive guy anyway, so when it comes down to it, it's like, we want to see guys score, but, my focus a lot of times has been the guy in the trenches, and because I love watching this guy coach up here and coach Magic, and, what they do in terms of the second half adjustments. And, there's the little tendencies, the little things that you can do on the line. It may not always be getting tackles, but again, it's blocking gaps, it's knifing through, getting to where you got to get to be. And again, just those little small things, I think, is kind of what was a big key tonight in that second half and shutting their run game down, which is obviously pretty predominant in that first half.
Kind of a question for Coach Steele, but did you feel that, the Governor's ability to stop that run in that second half and the fact that Brookings didn't really sway into other things until absolutely necessary? Did you feel like Pierre still owned the game even when they were down 17-13?
Yeah, I mean, we did. We forced them in a lot of different formations that they weren't running in that first half, and to me, I don't think that was because they, felt like they could. I think it's because they had to. The things that they're doing right away weren't working. So which caused them to run in some different formations, probably try, even though it was the same guy running the ball, the same guy they're passing to, just trying to find different ways to get them into it. I think just throwing them off their game, but that all came back again to our defensive, stands that we had early in that third quarter.
All right. Any other thoughts? The coach is up here to talk to us. So, it's just anytime you can get a homecoming victory. And, a lot of times homecoming means the cupcakes of the schedule. But when you've got a team that really you match up almost evenly with, that kind of makes it all the more special to win on homecoming night.
Yeah, going down to USF tomorrow to watch Trey Lewis and some of the boys play, and I just always think back to Coach Young and his comment we brought up a couple years ago, and just winners win because that's just what they do. And tonight overcoming a little adversity, and it wasn't the prettiest win for us, but it's just one of those another steps that we're taking in the right direction to obviously finish off the season. Obviously 5 games away from now, but just that right step in the direction.
All right, JW, thanks so much for being here tonight. We'll get you here in a few weeks once again on the home calls. John Calda helping us out with play-by-play or analysis from an expert standpoint. We appreciate his efforts, and we certainly appreciate the efforts of a guy by the name of Steve Steele who comes up here. And, Coach, I was just asking JW about the prettiness or lack thereof of this game. Of course, once again, the field conditions have a lot to do with how this game was played, but the bottom line is you looked great in your first 2 possessions. You had a quick strike, you had a sustained drive. Brookings sustains drives, and it's kind of like who's going to stop whom. Ultimately, you get the stops, and but then they take the lead in the third quarter, but you kind of made this second half adjustment to, and maybe it's not the right way to say it, but to sell out on the run. And it almost seemed like Brookings didn't have any flexibility after that as far as what they wanted to do outside of trying to get the ball to Tetzloff out of necessity. But just once again, you and your staff make the second half adjustments to be the difference in the ball game in a 20-17 win.
Yeah, it was a pretty quick talk afterwards. Obviously, we got the fireworks going on, but kind of summed it up with UBO, ugly but okay. It wasn't the prettiest of any game by any stretch of the imagination, but ultimately it's a win, and that's what matters, and we move on. But yeah, it's a challenge to play. That's a good football team. They run the ball very well. They're a stout defense. Playing them on mud bowls, not the greatest opportunity. Like I said, I was very proud of the guys to find a way to get it done.
Similarities between this game and the first game of the year with Aberdeen when it was wet and soggy and muddy, and you were facing what I thought was a bigger team in Aberdeen back then, but the little guys were still winning the leverage battles in the trenches and things like that. And especially early on tonight, you were winning that. But then once again, you're winning the battle and getting to the ball hawking and stopping the run, and which they did have a pretty good rhythm going, I thought, for much of this game running wise.
They really did. And again, that was I think that was kind of what made the game tough, in a lot of ways, was they were really able to control the clock. Yeah. Even in the first half, they didn't have a ton of points really, but they were able to control so much clock. We had 3 possessions in the first half. If you don't include the 16-second thing at the end, we had 3 possessions. The second half, I think, was 4. Next week we could have 14.
Yeah.
Just because of the style of offense of Yankton.
Right.
And I would really enjoy a mud bowl probably against Yankton with what they do. But, just a totally different game than, when they're able to sustain drives, then it chews up a lot of clock, and it just changes the mentality because you can't really get super high flying because then, the downside of that is, that first drive we went down, we hit a quick strike. and then they're on the field for a long time. And then we kind of had a sustained drive, but you almost want to be able to give the defense a break too.
Yeah. Well, and I really thought the way they were sustaining drives, Brookings in particular, I mean, it wasn't very long into this game. I was actually thinking, well, you've got to give yourselves a break defensively because you don't want to get worn down as this game goes along, because this looked like literally two teams that are very evenly matched. Such is life at the parity right now, and as we've talked about, 7 teams or so in 11 AA. This is a great example of the type of ball you're going to have to play when you get into October and especially November.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a grind, and the fun part is it's a grind for everybody. There's not going to be a lot of easy games for anyone, in the entire class this year. So, it's really setting up a fun year, and that's why being able to win a game like this is huge, because ultimately you want to have those advantages when you get to the playoffs, and, you're not going to have as many of those if you don't win these games.
We were calling a lot of names of the guys on the line, both offense and defensively. But man, guys like Maximus again had a great night. Sam Larson had a great night, it seemed, and of course the biggest display.
That escalated.
So Max Bogenhagen, Bryson Wallman, he's leading. I saw him leading some pathways and helping to clear a path, I think, for Carter Merrill here out on the near edge in the second half. And I mean, it's just this was one of the nights where I actually started watching a little bit more of what was going on the lines. And man, there's a lot of guys who deserve a big pat on the back tonight.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, those guys, and again, it's really, really hard to do a lot of the things that they have to do in mud. Because so much of it relies on footing, and it's really hard to get leverage and keep it when your feet are sliding out, So really kudos to those guys on finding a way to get it done and, again, finding a way to continually problem solve throughout the night and figuring out how they had to accomplish their jobs.
All right. And, of course, with Brookings, you had to deal with Tetzloff. And even at times when they're going his way, he's still able to make plays. And then you add in the factor of the Wildcat, which you had seen on film. What was it like to prepare for that guy, even though maybe you can prepare for a guy like him in practice every day in Cooper Terwilliger?
Yeah, I mean, it's, the AA high school football version of the tush push really is all that is. You get a lot of mass, you move it, and then you put the biggest, strongest guy you have behind it and let him hopefully push the whole mass. They did that really successfully. I mean, and it's just a challenge. Because you've got those 3 extra guys that can move anywhere, so even if you kind of stop the line, they end up getting a secondary push from those 3 guys in the backfield.
And then all of a sudden he comes out around the edge a couple of times and picks up big things. All right, anything else we haven't talked about you want to kind of highlight here with this win?
I think this it was emotional a little bit there. I mean, we obviously got to wear our jerseys for AVB tonight.
That's exactly what I meant to ask you instead, so I'm glad you're bringing this up.
Yeah, so I mean, it meant a little bit more tonight. Obviously it's homecoming. Everyone's back. Just met Bud Glanzer, the 65 football coach, was a really cool deal. So I mean, it's cool for all those things, but for these kids, meant a little bit more to wear that jersey tonight.
Yeah. When you can kind of get yourself immersed in that history of the coaching ranks and one of the best teams that, back in the old days of Pierre Governor football, that had to be really something because, you're going to be that guy in another 40 years, wherever you are. Hopefully you're still here coaching football, but, someday you'll come back and everybody will look on you as the way people look at Bud Glanzer and the great Phil Troutner and people like that. So
yeah, really cool night, but happy we got the win and just very, very proud of this team.
And Coach Gordon across the way, his grandfather coached this football team in the 80s and the 90s too. So all right, let's look ahead to Yankton. You mentioned it, completely different style. They've got that fast pace and they've got their turf field and you've gone down there and had some incredible wins here in the last 5-6 years, whatever. Bottom line is it's always fun to go play down there.
Yes, it's always one you have circled just because it's such a fun atmosphere to go down and play at, and they don't have the track around, so it's just it's a more intimate atmosphere, and they're always a good football team, so it'll be a lot of fun to go attack some planning and figure out what we can do against them.
What's different about them this year that maybe wasn't last year, especially in the semifinal win that you had down there?
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways they look pretty similar. There's some new faces and new places, but I mean they still got a quarterback that can throw it. He can move around and still do a lot of things with his legs. Got a couple exceptional receivers and the stout defense, so it should be a battle.
All right. Looking forward to that one, Coach. Great win tonight. Happy homecoming again.
Thank you.
Coach Steve Steele and the Governors defeat Brookings tonight 20-17. There's more ahead in our Family Dental postgame. 3-minute break, and we'll give you that recap when we come back with more Pierre Governor football.
From the early days of South Dakota statehood through today's digital revolution, BankWest has remained committed to helping customers and communities succeed. BankWest Associates uphold this commitment by developing innovative products, tailoring financial solutions to customer needs, and actively supporting community causes. For a bank committed to helping you and your community prosper, choose BankWest. BankWest, convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
I'm Scott Nye. As a coach for the Pierre Governors, I know a winning game plan is crucial. When it comes to your finances, you deserve one too. At New Edge Advisors, our name is new, but our commitment to you isn't. We're the same trusted team you've known, and we've expanded our playbook of resources to help you plan for retirement, manage investments, and protect your future. Let's build the strategy that gets your financial future into the end zone.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors LLC is a separate entity from LPL Financial.
At Avera Orthopedics, we're transforming pain into possibility every day. Whether you're chasing a personal best or simply want to enjoy life to the fullest, our specialized care is designed to help you feel better and stronger. We're here for you. No referral needed. Trust Avera Orthopedics to unlock a world of endless possibilities. Visit avera.org/orthopedics and start your journey from pain to possibility today.
Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre is here for you. They make it easy when looking for a new vehicle, getting all available vehicle information so you can spend less time researching and more time enjoying your purchase. Shop their extensive inventory from home at CapitalCityFordToyota.com or stop into Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota, 518 East Sioux Avenue in Pierre. Count on them for all your service needs with convenient scheduling and in-stock parts. Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre, 605-224-7378.
Do you dream of a custom home built within your budget and done on time? Kruger Contracting can make that dream a reality. They're a trusted home builder since 2003, and they're going to be upfront and open about cost and transparent about where your money is going when it comes to your new home. Their skilled crew will manage construction of your new home from start to finish. They're located in Pierre and can build your home in Pierre, Fort Pierre, or the surrounding area. Call 605-222-2523. Visit KrugerContracting.com or find Kruger Contracting on Facebook.
Century Business Products is a proud provider of the most reliable Kyocera copiers and printers to the Pierre School District, backed by 5-time nationally awarded Kyocera servicing team. Are you looking to control color cost? Looking to reduce printers? Are you looking for more efficient ways to scan documents? Or maybe you'd like to become more paperless? Look no further than your local Century Business Products. Call 800-529-1950 and see how they're powering business technology.
Feltrauder Stadium in Hollister Field. We welcome you back with more of our Family Dental post game. Appreciate the coach Steve Steele for his time, and of course John Calda for helping us out on the broadcast tonight. A 20-17 win, and all in all, a kind of a breath of a sigh of relief at the end of this one as the Governors win their third game in 4 so far this season. And they're 2-0 at home, 1-1 on the road. Here's the recap how it all happened. Right off the bat, the Governors looked great in throwing the football. Caleb Lounsbury to Carter Shufflebine, 68 yards on a slant pass, and Shufflebine just outran the rest of the field for 68 yards and a 6-0 lead for the Governors after the kick was blocked after a high snap. Governors got an interception negating what was a great drive for Brookings, 14th play of their opening possession. Porter Hunsley gets a pick of Gavin Anderson as he was trying to maybe force it to Bergen Tetzlaff, but Porter Hunsley with the positioning, and the Governors took over at their own 17-yard line. 10 plays later, Lounsbury to Shufflebine for the second time tonight, 19 yards out, and the Governors led 13-0 after Carter Templeton makes a PAT. Brookings gets a field goal on their second possession after a 10-play, 50-yard drive. Drew Johnson kicks one through from 30 yards out to make it 13-3 with 4:49 left in the second quarter. And then the Governors' next possession, Jones Huntermer picked off a Caleb Lounsbury pass, and that had the Bobcats set up in great field position at the Governor 34-yard line. 6 plays later, Bergen Tetzloff out of that Wildcat ran it in from 3 yards out, and it was 13-10 with 18 seconds left. The Governors couldn't do anything with it before halftime, and that was our halftime score, 13-10. And then we come out in the second half, and you're thinking, boy, whoever gets the defensive stops because of such long sustained drives in the first half, if one team can get a defensive stop but keep the offense going, obviously they pick up an advantage. The Governors gave up a first down on the second play of the second half, but then forced Brookings to a 3-and-out, but then had the ball at their own 17-yard line. They go 3-and-out themselves, and then after a punt that had Brookings in the field position advantage, they go 50 yards in 8 plays. Gavin Anderson hits Bergen Tetzloff on a 4th-and-6 play, but an absolutely perfectly thrown ball. Tetzloff catches it over the top of Porter Hunsley from 27 yards out. Johnson's PAT made it 17-13. Brookings with 17 unanswered points, and they take the lead at 3:03 left in the third quarter, and the Governors go 3-and-out on their next possession. But then they got a huge punt by Caleb Lounsbury of 57 yards that backed Brookings all the way up to their own 11-yard line. And they did get a first down out to the 22. They advanced to the 30. But the Governors forced them to punt, and this is where the wetness of the field comes into play. The botched punt snap that goes over the head of the punter, Drew Johnson, and it turned into a 20-yard loss on a punt play for the Brookings Bobcats. The Governors take over at the Bobcat 10-yard line, and from there, one play, Carter Merrill, a 10-yard touchdown run. Carter Templeton with the PAT, and the Governors get the lead back at 20-17 with 10:39 to go. A 3-and-out for Brookings. 2 first downs picked up. The Governors chewing some time through the fourth quarter. They ultimately did punt from midfield. And then Brookings was backed up to the 10-yard line, had to punt again. Pierre turned it over on downs, even though they had the ball at the Brookings 13-yard line to start. They again chew more time, but a penalty hurt their chances this time. But then with 38 seconds left, after they lose it on downs, Brookings gets one more good pass play to Tetzloff, but then 3-and-out from the 29-yard line, and that was your ball game as Pierre preserves that 20-17 victory. And again, a little quirky in the second half. It wasn't the prettiest game. Obviously, the conditions had a lot to do with it, but two teams that just match up so evenly had something to do with this as well. Good defensive ball game, even though there were some offensive flashes and those highlight plays that we like to call them, right on the money highlight plays from Rounds Financial Services in Pierre. And there were some of those, but here's the stats on this one. Really not a lot of disparity in this one. Pierre, I have outgaining Brookings unofficially 256-249 overall. The Governors get 121 on the ground. Carter Merrill's first game of the year gives him 19 carries for 105 yards, including a 10-yard touchdown. Jaron Deal had 12 big yards to help chew some time toward the tail end on 2 carries. Kea Duchino, 6 yards on 2 carries. Caleb Lounsbury loses 2 yards on his kneel down, the final play of the game. We factor that in. 121 on the ground. Lounsbury through the air throws 7 of 11 for 134 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. 5 of those catches, of those 7 completions, go to Carter Shufflebine. 2 touchdowns for him, 107 yards total. Cooper Terwilliger had a 17-yard gain. Jaron Deal with a 10-yard reception as well. Overall, I only have the Governors picking up 6 first downs in this game, but still picked up 256 along the way. They're penalized 8 times for 72 yards. That will add to your yardage total without getting first downs as well. 1 turnover, the interception thrown by the Governors. 249 total for Brookings of offense, 167 on the ground, including 108 yards from Gus Armenta, who runs the ball 31 times. At halftime, he had 83 yards on 18 carries, but the Governors bottled him up pretty much in that second half, as I'm looking at 13 carries in the second half for just 25 yards. And again, the Governors' ability to stop the run had a lot to do with their victory here tonight. Bergen Tetzloff, 28 yards on 6 carries and a 3-yard touchdown run. Gavin Anderson, scrambling quarterback, has 5 carries for 21 yards. And Otto Eidsness has 4 carries for 10 yards. So 167 on the ground for the Bobcats. Gavin Anderson through the air, 4 of 10 for 84 yards. All 4 of his completions go to his big tight end, Bergen Tetzloff, for 84 yards, including the 27-yard touchdown on 4th down. Brookings picks up 12 first downs along the way. They're penalized 5 times for 45 yards lost. And they did throw the 1 interception as Hunsley picked off Anderson back in the first half. That's how it spells a 20-17 Pierre Governor victory. And again, they're 3-1 on the season. Brookings slips to 2-2. We'll look at upcoming schedules in a little bit, but let's take care of orders of business, including our big plays of the game, sponsored by Hermanson Endodontics in Pierre. We'll hear from them, and your big plays are next. This is Pierre Governor Football.
Quality comes first at Hermanson Endodontics. Dr. Brian Hermanson serves Central South Dakota with specialty root canal treatment. Hermanson Endodontics strives to provide treatment that's not only comfortable, but also provides the best possible outcome. They do this by effective and timely communication with your dentist and preserving as much healthy tooth as possible using state-of-the-art 3-dimensional imaging and the dental operating microscope to guide diagnosis and treatment. Ask your dentist if a root canal specialist is right for you. Hermanson Endodontics in Pierre.
Hermanson Endodontics with big plays in this game. And, of course, offensively, you've got Caleb Lounsbury to Carter Shufflebine right off the bat. 68 yards. That's the second time those two have hooked up for long touchdowns this season. 3 weeks ago, it was the 96-yarder in the wind, in the rain, and the mud in a 9-6 win over Aberdeen Central. Last week, they had a beautiful 35-yard hookup. Tonight, 68 yards to start the scoring, and then they added a 19-yarder as well. Big plays coming from Porter Hunsley with that interception of Gavin Anderson. Of course, Brookings puts a big play together with Anderson to Tetzloff from 27 yards out for a touchdown. That on a 4th down play that gave them the lead, 17-13, 3 minutes left in the third quarter. But this game turned on a dime when Brookings failed to connect on that punt snap that came early in the fourth quarter. The Governors had them backed up. They were stopped at the 30. I mean, you get, let's say, a 30, 35-yard punt out of that, and Pierre is starting on the other half of the 50-yard line. But instead, the punt snap goes over the head of Drew Johnson, the punter, all the way back inside the 10-yard line, and ball carrier after that was stopped at the 10. The Governors take over, and they run it in from 10 yards out with Carter Merrill. Suddenly, the Governors have the lead, and it was as quickly and simply as that. But certainly not without a little bit of luck for the Governors. But they made a lot of their own breaks tonight. But that really, that botched punt snap that turned this game on a dime had to be the biggest play of the game. That's brought to you by Hermanson Endodontics of Pierre, as the Governors win at 20-17. Candidates for players of the game, and we'll talk about them coming up. And your player of the game sponsored by Cowboy Country Stores in Pierre and Fort Pierre. Tonight, kind of an easy decision, but we'll explain more when we come back after hearing from Cowboy Country Stores. This is Governor Football.
Anytime is a good time for Cowboy Country Stores in Pierre and Fort Pierre. Fill up your tank and your stomach. Fresh baked pastries, coffees, regular and breakfast pizzas, Champs Chicken, and more. Feed the family while on the go. Then treat yourself to a soft serve ice cream in cones and dishes. Convenience with a capital C. Cowboy Country Stores. Euclid and Harrison Avenue in Pierre and in Fort Pierre.
It's Cowboy Country Stores giving us our players of the game. We'll pat the backs of guys like Tetzloff for the Brookings Bobcats, who certainly is he's going to be an all-state caliber player. There's no doubt about it. He's one of the best athletes they've got over in that part of the state. He's very similar to a guy we've got by the name of Terwilliger here in the capital city, but he's a year older and maybe even a year more refined. Bergen Tetzloff, we've seen him on the basketball court doing great things, and certainly football is his thing, and he's a good one. So keep up the great work, Bergen Tetzloff. And everybody else, I mean, Brookings played. They played a good ball game. Their defense was up to the task. I think Cash Sather played an outstanding game. He almost got a game-changing interception in this one, but as it turned out, the tip pass went to Terwilliger and kept the Governor drive alive. Jones Huntermer with an interception tonight and did a number of good things for the Bobcats as well. This team is going to be a tough out when you get to the postseason, but really glad to see Carter Gordon and kind of take over the helm and get going with Brookings Bobcat football. Wish him all the best, as his roots are right here in the capital city. But for the Pierre Governors, it's good to have Carter Merrill back on the field. Again, plays being made with Lounsbury to Shufflebine, who is just as rock solid of a sure thing as it seems there is. Shufflebine, let's put him on that all-state team too. 2 touchdowns for Shuff tonight, but tonight belonged to the defense. And a guy who's been doing it both sides of the football all season so far is Maximus Schmitz. The kid was all over the place. We called his name on a number of occasions tonight. We talked about a number of linemen with Coach Steele in our post-game conversation. Will Eilers, Sam Larson played an outstanding game tonight. Max Bogenhagen and company. Lathan Rounds is getting out in the mix, and Bryson Wallman on the offensive side as well. I mean, the kids on the line did a heck of a job tonight, but Max Schmitz is becoming the identity, the defensive tackle especially. He had a big quarterback sack a week ago in Watertown, and played a great game in Huron as well. Maximus Schmitz is tonight's player of the game, and he'll get the T-shirt noting his accomplishment, sponsored by Cowboy Country Stores in Pierre and Fort Pierre. The Govs win tonight, 20-17. Let's take one final break here in our Family Dental postgame. We'll come back and get you set up for upcoming action for both of these teams and also for us on River 92.7 KGFX. We've got more sports coming your way tomorrow. We'll talk about that when we come back to wrap this one up. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football.
Fall sports are here, and Beck Motor Company is proud to cheer on our local athletes. Just like teamwork on the field or court, you can count on teamwork at our dealership. Whether you're driving a new Chevy Equinox, a tough Chevy Silverado, or keeping your current ride in top shape with our service department, Beck Motor Company is here for all your automotive needs. Good luck to all our hometown teams this season. From your friends at Beck Motor Company, we're making a great deal better. www.beckmotors.com, 605-224-5912.
Dakota Storm Roofing is a locally owned roofing company in Pierre, specializing in both residential and commercial roofing services. They can handle your asphalt shingle, metal roofing, and flat roof needs. New construction, plus all types of roof repairs. They can handle the finishing touches, adding fascia, soffit, and gutters too. No job is too big or too small. For a free estimate, call Dakota Storm Roofing at 280-9794. Go to dakotastormroofing.com or find them on Facebook or Instagram.
Superior Concrete is proud to sponsor the Governors this season and just as proud to offer the finest concrete solutions available for commercial and residential applications, as well as foundation and flat work. The bottom line, if you need anything done with concrete, we can do it. Superior Concrete. Give us a call today for an estimate or more information. That's Superior Concrete. Find us on Facebook or call the office at 605-494-0102. That's 494-0102. Call today.
Do you love watching high school sports but find yourself wanting to be more involved? LiveTicket.tv has the solution for you. They're looking for production managers to assist for this school year. Duties include the management of equipment as well as basic technological understanding. But don't stress, paid training will be provided. Part-time wages starting at $20 per hour. Call 833-605-LIVE, extension 2. That's 833-605-5483, extension 2. And punch your ticket to joining one of the fastest growing companies in South Dakota.
Chances are you're overlooking a big energy thief in your home or commercial building. The garage doors. But Overhead Door Company of Pierre can help stop that energy waste with a full range of insulated, weather-tight garage doors. Their residential garage doors give you insulated performance at an uninsulated price. And their Thermocore insulated steel doors give commercial buildings the energy efficiency they demand today. Find out more. Call Overhead Door Company of Pierre at 1-800-649-9905 and put a stop to the garage door energy thief.
Final segment here of our Family Dental postgame as the Govs defeat Brookings tonight 20-17. Up next for the Bobcats, they'll be hosting Sioux Falls Roosevelt next Friday night, their AAA opponent on the year. Roosevelt having their struggles, but Brookings does get a tougher go of it when they go to T area in 2 weeks. And after that, they still have games with Yankton, Douglas, and Huron left on their schedule. As for the Governors, we go to Crane Youngworth next Friday. The last time the Governors were there, they punched their ticket to the Dakota Dome for the 8th straight year. It won't be easy again this year. It's the Governors against the currently unbeaten Yankton Bucks. That's next Friday, 6:25 pregame. I believe Trent Merkwan will be joining me on that, the Hall of Famer, for the call of that one. We look forward to it. And then 2 weeks from tonight, a 5 o'clock kickoff when the Governors go to O'Gorman to take on the Knights in Sioux Falls. So mark that one down in your calendar. Pierre, after that, has 3 West River schools in Sturgis, Spearfish, and Douglas to go on their schedule. Upcoming action, though, you've got the volleyball team at T-Area tomorrow. This game will be on KGFX, 1060 AM, 103.1 FM. I'll have the call on that starting at 1:30 with our pre-match coverage. And then the Governors will be off for 2 weeks after that before they host Brandon Valley on October 4th at Riggs High Gym. We've got soccer tomorrow, though. The volleyball team at T-Area. The soccer teams will host T-Area, 12 and 2 o'clock. Justin Cowart and Chris Derry on the call of that one here on River 92.7 at 11:30. Pregame for the first of 2 there. And the Governor soccer teams go to Mitchell Thursday and then Sturgis next Saturday as well. Their home finale will be, at least for the regular season, will be on against Huron on September 30th. Competitive cheer and dance. Dances at Brandon Valley tomorrow in the invite. The golf team goes to Watertown next on Tuesday. Cross country will be running next Friday at Rapid City's Hart Ranch Course, and tennis team will be at a quadrangular in Aberdeen tomorrow. Then they'll go to Spearfish Tuesday. They do have a home date with St. Thomas More on Thursday in this week ahead. And, of course, we've got Vikings football coming up this weekend on KPLO and KMLO, 11 o'clock pregame, 12 o'clock kickoff. The Vikings host the Cincinnati Bengals. And, some people I know, myself included, will actually be heading to that game. So you can listen to that on our stations of the DRG Media Group. Here's the rest of the scores for you tonight. In 11 AA T-Area defeats Douglas 38-6. Huron defeats Sturgis. First loss of the season for the Scoopers, 33-16. Huron is 3-1. Spearfish is 3-1 after a 21-6 win over Aberdeen Central. And Watertown hands it to Mitchell 46-18 tonight. Yankton plays at Harrisburg tomorrow night. See if we can get some scores from Central South Dakota. Lyman over Bennett County in the 9-man ranks 38-20. Stanley County got throttled down at Gregory tonight 62-14. Our game on KGFX. And in the 9-man ranks on KMLO, Sully Buttes defeats Gettysburg tonight 30-0 in the backyard brawl. Chamberlain was on KPLO, and they took on Rapid City Christian. It's the Comets with a 16-12 victory there. All the scores will be at drgnews.com and the sports pages from Justin Cowart maybe tomorrow morning, and we'll keep you updated. And we appreciate you for joining us here tonight. To the Brookings fans who are making their way back home, we wish you safe travels. To all of those on the road for whatever reason, the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety celebrates being a part of a team, and they remind us that it's either text or drive. There is no and. We've all got some place to be, so let's buckle up every trip, every time as well. Big thanks to William Wilson running our show in studio, technical direction from an audio standpoint, and to Brian Menning for live ticket. You can rewatch this homecoming contest at drgnews.com and the River 92.7 page, also on your DRG News smartphone app and on live tickets YouTube feed as well. And for John Calda, who gave us the commentary tonight, I'm Brian Oakland. Appreciate you joining us. Your final Gales Gas Service scoreboard has the Governors winning their homecoming contest 20-17 over the Brookings Bobcats. Soccer tomorrow here on River 92.7. I'll talk with you again on KGFX tomorrow for a volleyball at 1:30 from T-Area. Until then, happy homecoming, everybody. You've been listening to Pierre Governor Football on your official voice of the Governors, River 92.7 and drgnews.com. Good evening, everybody.